Good afternoon, free enterprise fans, and welcome to today's match with Kinda Nerdy Housewife facing off against Penniwhistle. They are both 0-1 runners, where Kinda Nerdy Housewife took a loss against Jay Brunter last week, while Penniwhistle unfortunately had to go and take a fourth FF against their loss against KS Hades, but they're both here and eager for a first victory, so something to look forward to. I am Bako Shinobi, and I am joined by Dijon Ketchup. How are you doing, Dijon?
I'm doing okay. It is the weekend. I don't have to wear pants. It's glorious.
This is the first weekend I've had a whole 2 days off, and I'm feeling extra motivated to not sit back and do nothing. So, of course, I want to be out here commenting free enterprise. Let's be honest, that's a great use of a weekend.
Yeah. Well, we've got two great runners here. Kinda Nerdy Housewife. Hopefully will not melt under the pressure. And
she better be. She's better than that.
Nah. I mean, sweet dreams are made of cheese. So, let's look at our objectives today. We've got the standard 3 static. Complete Cave Magnus, forge the Legend Sword Inanimate, and trade away the Pink Tail. And we've also got Get Edward and defeat Ogopogo. So, hopefully...
Everyone's favorite character and everyone's favorite boss, right?
Right. So, clearly we're looking for Ogopogo and Edward both on the Giant, right?
Oh yeah, that's going to go and be the real power play. A shame we don't start with the Edward, because, we'd still have to find him, but then we'd probably be taking him to the Giant.
We could still have partner Edward.
True. He could go and be one of the partners, and then he could be one of the two dupes, excuse me. There are 10 distinct characters with his flags, and there are 13 character recruitment spots, so there are 3 duplicate characters total.
I mean, they could all be Edwards. No?
Yeah. So if you started with Edward and had an Edward partner, then your last character has to be an Edward, and if that's in the Giant, just such a pleasant thing. So it looks like we are getting started.
Yep. It looks... Yeah, that's not Edward at all. Hook start, though. That's, So... We already have underground access, although I wager our runners will probably want to see if they can find that magma key anyway.
Access is definitely one of those things where theoretically you have access to the underground. In practicality, we don't have access to the underground until we slog through 2 bosses who may be merciful and easy. Like, it could be a Water Hag into Vanilla King Queen Evelyn combo that's just, you go through it, it's fine, nothing to worry about. Or we could find that nice Ogopogo sitting at the Rupin spot waiting to go and punch us up and drown us in worries.
Yeah.
But I do think we're going to see both our runners wanting to go and rush to that hook. Not to rush the bosses, but to see who the character on that route is, because we don't have free characters on, so any character you can pick up for free is nice to pick up, and we don't have C Relaxed on, so Edge and Fusoya will only be showing up in gated locations, which the hook does count as a gated location. You do need a key item for it.
Well, that's a cane and a lunar sparkle there in the Baron Inn on Kinda Nerdy Housewife side, and Penniwhistle did a bit of looting in the Watery Pass.
Yep, finding an Elven Bow and a couple other items of note, though. No one so far around to use that Elven Bow. Honestly, the characters we have are not going to be improved by weaponry very much, because Young only uses claws that don't go and give him attack power, and Dark Knight Cecil can't actually use anything better than a black sword.
But if you do find a black sword,
it is pretty nice. It can do instant death and has an attack power of 30, which is... There are worse attack power weapons, like
looks like a Leviathan hiding in the waterfall.
So, not the Nope Noodle we're looking for. We're looking for the Canadian variety. But good information. Good to know that Ogopogo is out of the pool.
couple nice things that KNH has found in the Damsian mini treasury.
Yep, the ninja shirt might actually be rather helpful if Edge is in the hook route, because that is equipment for them, and kind of nerdy Housewife is unfortunately not launched the hovercraft. They will need to go back. Well, she will need to go back to Fabul to launch that hovercraft, because very likely that we're not going to have a magma key, so we're going to use that hook to pick up the hovercraft and move it to Eblin.
Yeah, not entirely sure why she didn't just launch it while she was there.
Could just be focused on looking at characters, trying to go and get some gear.
Oh, hey, well, there's our Edward.
That's reasonably convenient, though.
And that Elven Bow will come in handy for him.
True. Edward, not the best with physical stats, but the Elven Bow will go and do some damage. So only having Medusa arrows is honestly a little rough for this. I would consider maybe leaving this for later, not because Edward isn't worthwhile to pick up, but it's going to take a bit of time. We got through the first phase, but we had to blow a vampire for it, so we'll need to use another Jan and get through another fight. And I'd really like to find a dancing dagger so I can come into this fight, give Edward that, and let him just carry damage much more efficiently.
And Penniwhistle diving Antlion first before going to Mount Hobbs.
Antlion is not a terribly tricky location. It might be a bit slow just because, again, Yang and Dark Knight Cecil are not the powerhouses you really want to have early on, but they will most likely be able to get through this fight, as it doesn't have strong magic power, doesn't have strong attack power, and both these characters are reasonably strong for the start, and there's a Murasame.
Yeah, it'll be nice if there's an edge in this seed.
Yeah, I would be very keen to go and try and find Edge at the moment. But the good doctor is out, Edward is in, and kind of nerdy Housewife has one objective on the board.
Penniwhistle finding some pretty good items down in the Antlion Cave. I don't think anything he can equip yet, but, you know, that Blizzard Spear.
Entirely fair. There's a very small pool of things that Penniwhistle's team can equip at this point.
But we do know that...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we do know that there's that cane over at Baron Inn, and we'll find some sort of character on the way underground if they take that hook route.
Lunar Sparkle, that's not Ogopogo, but the D-Lunar's in... Okay, this one actually might be a little unpleasant for our runners, because Virus is not the weakest spell. We will go and get quadruple damage from Yang with the Fire Claw, and we only need to chew through 400 HP, but Virus is doing most of our character's HP and damage right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to reset out.
Yeah, need to... you can go and bypass that the virus counter by going and just using Power Run Yang, so...
Kind of nerdy Housewife finding the Baron guards at Fabul. I think they got a little lost. They're in the wrong kingdom.
Wrong kingdom, going and attacking the right party at the right place, though. From the right kingdom, but they are not the correct party for this. But we do see Penniwhistle backing out of Antlion Cave, coming to this Baron Inn. Going to see that cane and going to try and pick them up, and they're finding Plague.
Not our Nope Noodle, but, we've got like 3 of the Lunar Sparkles out of the pool already?
We've certainly got a number of them. It's, D-Lunars are in Antlion Cave, Plague is here. Going to be pretty nice to see. Nice to see that this Lunar Sparkle is either Wyvern, Ogopogo, or Pale Dim. Is not correct, but...
Yeah, Penniwhistle wiping to Plague. Not a very high HP spot for it, but you know that count
Yeah,
doesn't care what spot you're in. It's gonna count down from 10 either way.
this team is going to struggle mightily for damage. It is not pleasant, and kind of nerdy housewife might be going, and I realize probably doesn't have the elven bow that Penniwhistle found, so that's why Edward is not exactly contributing to high damage numbers, especially if the only arrows you have are Medusa arrows. You might be fishing for a proc on them, but this team is going to go and be struggling to chew through the about 1700 HP here, I think.
A few nice things in the Baron item shop. There was Tent, Illusion, Thor Rage. Penniwhistle seems to be contemplating what his options are.
This is not a nice starting team. This is not a starting team that you look at and think, yes, I know exactly how to go and deal with this.
Yeah, this is a pretty unforgiving start.
Yeah, and Cecil does not have a black sword. I believe he has a shadow sword.
Yeah, I believe that's because there's only 2 swords he can use. And...
Oh, the shadow, darkness, and black.
Oh yeah, darkness. I forgot about darkness.
Someone has been watching enough of the No-CW speedrun where you go out of your way to pick up the darkness sword at the back of Watery Pass so that Cecil can do some appreciably greater damage on the Octoman fight. That's the only reason why I remember it too, because it's...
Speaking of darkness...
Hello, Darkness, my old friend. I'd like to go and get a free character again.
So, less than 10 minutes in, Kinda Nerdy Housewife has access to the entire world, galaxy.
And if that shop on the moon sells sirens, you can go and get some good experience depending on the characters you get available to you. A Fasoya on the moon would definitely make it very easy to get loads of experience, though with a Fasoya on the moon, you probably won't care too much about experience because you can just beat up some bosses and get more spells that way. And Penniwhistle is going and heading out, checking other options, probably going to look at this open treasury in Toria to pick up some more items. I agree with this play just because if you're struggling and you're not making headway, you want to go and get some items, would definitely be good for them to check that hook character as well. It might seem like it's a long walk for one character, but that character could just be enough to put them over the edge and get them going.
Wow, speaking of the edge, lot of weapons for edge early on that we're finding here on Penniwhistle's side.
We're just honing in on all this edge weaponry, but we're not going and finding him.
Well, now that since we can unlock both underground and the moon, he could be in one of those spots.
Yeah, you can go and edge for Fasoya would definitely go and give you a significant advantage at this point.
Would you say that they'd give you an edge?
Well, I mean, you have edge when you pick them up, so yes, it would give you an edge.
Cool. Kinda Nerdy Housewife raising the big whale. Probably gonna go to the moon and check the free character and see what's in the shop. Not much else he can really do on the moon at this point.
If you're feeling bold, you can go and check to see who the character is in Cave Bahamut and loot those 4 treasures. They will be higher tier treasures, so could pull something nice out of there. If you see something incredibly free, like King and Queen Evelyn, kind of hard for them to never not be free, and if you go and grab them early, that gives a big boost of experience to Yang, who really wants experience in order to go and do damage as the aptly named Punch Mage.
Yeah, if King and Queen Evelyn happen to be there, just throwing out cure potions whenever they use their fire attack should be enough to survive.
Yeah.
Not so much if it's the other quote-unquote free bosses like Dark Knight Cecil or Water Hag. Those you can't really survive on the moon right at this point.
Yeah, well, depending on your agility setup, you might be able to squeak through Water Hag with 4 characters if you get a bit lucky on the punch order and can just queue up a bunch of punches on your team, because you only need to hit him 3 times and then he's just gives it up. And We do not find premium old man on the moon. We find value old man.
Yeah, not the old man you were looking for, but the old man that will do right now.
I'm honestly impressed as to all these characters. Some of these characters are incredibly powerful later in the game. Like Cecil, very powerful character once you've completed ordeals. Yang, very powerful character without any equipment once you've gotten about 40 levels. Edward is in the party. Tella, once you go and beat ordeals, he is going to go and have access to a whole bunch of spells.
Hourglass 2 on the moon. Those kind of nerdy housewife picking up a few of those.
That is, Hourglass 2s are a great piece of equipment. Penniwhistle does go and add the Edward to the party and gets Objective 4 on their board, so...
Nice. But yeah, as Chad is saying, kind of nerdy housewife, having Tella and a Cecil, Ordeal's looking like a pretty good choice right about now.
I really want to go and check that Evelyn Cave character. Just this team is going to struggle mightily to do damage.
Oh yeah, I definitely would want to check that character first, but
then yeah, I want to run up Ordeals, and I just want to go and just make Cecil a paladin, give Tella all those spells, give Yang a bit of extra experience.
She's just going straight to Ordeals, though. We'll see how it goes. Could be a nice set of bosses.
Yeah, a Dancing Dagger on the way up would definitely be a great pickup. That would be a significant increase in this party's damage. Meanwhile, Penniwhistle has found some samurai arrows that they're throwing on their Edward and giving them that elven bow, so that is some good damage on Penniwhistle's side.
Yeah. Yeah, so like at this point, Edward might actually be Penniwhistle's biggest damage-dealing character. There's a shuriken, again, nudging us towards wanting an edge.
It feels like the seed is teasing us at this point. We have fine Hanzo Steel. We have all these nice throwables. We have a ninja robe that is nice and comfy and full of evasion. Don't have anyone to use it, though. Ooh.
Well, that's a Kenatsu.
That's a not so bad spot for it, but this is also a low HP team, all things considered.
Yeah.
I don't know how many Thor Rages kind of nervy her housewife has picked up, but Tella will be able to throw ice ones and lit ones for extra damage.
Yeah, Tella does have that.
And I do believe I have ranked Porm as the 5th best white mage because there's Soya, there's Rosa, there's Tella, there's Sits with Cure 3s, and then there's Porm. Well, you have to remember, Scala, ropes full of evasion are not very taxing. Ooh, and kind of housewife going and pulling out the ice arrows. Kanazo is weak to ice when not protected by water. Fortunately, loses that vulnerability. But Tella's going to go and open that up again, and Edward gets some quadruple damage with whatever bow they have equipped.
Penniwhistle making headway on those D-Lunars, has one of them down, pretty close to the second one.
Yep. Though it's going to go and get all of the fire counters now, which will be a little painful, but yep, that takes care of it.
That is a good punch from Yang.
Yep, and has kind of nerdy housewife gone to Antlion Cave at all yet?
I don't believe she has.
And there's a pan that is, in the tradition of everything we found so far in the seed, it's great future value. It does nothing now. Once we get underground, we can go hit Yang in the Sylph Cave, get an item from the Sylphs, go back up to Fabul, talk to Sheila's wife, let her know that, yes, Yang is in Sylph Cave, which will get us one item, and then give her back her pan after using it, which will give us a second key item.
I'd just like to point out that you said Sheila's wife, and I'm here for it.
Brain is very interested in, mixing words up sometime.
Get your free end prides in chat.
My brain sometimes skips words, I'm sorry.
It's fine. But yeah, Pan is 3 key items for the price of 1. You can't beat that value.
Yeah, and you just need to get underground. Kinda Nerdy Housewife has gotten Kinazo down to below 25% HP, which triggers the hiding in the shell script, where Kinazo is going to go and try and hide in the shell. It will increase their defense a bit, and every turn they're going to go and cast Remedy for 10% of their HP. But they're not going to attack until they're over 25% HP. So if you can go and push through it, which Kinda Nerdy Housewife has, through the first fight of Ordeals, definitely not the fastest fight, but this team is not exactly built for speed.
Getting that safety save in.
Yes, I definitely agree with that safety save. That fight, any fight that takes more than 2 turns, I safety save for in Ordeals personally, because I never want to have to worry about redoing it.
Oh, there is a darkness sword in the Fabul weapon shop.
I can. Oh, poor Kinda Nerdy Housewife. She has discovered the best possible location for the Alt Gauntlet to appear. Yes, you want to go and have these 5 random encounters of enemies drawn from random locations in the spot that is guaranteed to surprise you from the back every single fight, and let every single enemy punch you 4 times, or at least once, and then you get the cartoon damage.
These undead enemies, they're only going to take 1 damage from Dark Knight Cecil, and our boy Eddie keeps missing.
One bit of preparation I do like to do is to purchase a whole bunch of Cure 2s. Part of the reason is because I don't always rely on getting healers or rely on my healers doing anything in combat in general. The other reason is I won't be afraid to throw them at these ghouls and whatnot, because they're undead, they'll take damage from it.
Penny has got a dancing dagger on Edward now, so that's a pretty good...
That is a big DPS upgrade for the team. Also making good use of the power to avoid drawing counters. I think the worst thing we're going to go and see happen is the dancing dagger drop key counter. Oh, no. Dancing dagger kills 1, but guard is going and... Ooh, Sizing Yang, who is another cornerstone of damage here, unfortunately. When you attack the guards, they cast Size. If you cast a spell on the guards, they cast Piggy. Dancing Dagger does cast as a spell, or count as a spell, excuse me, but Dancing Dagger isn't really impeded by being Piggy, so you just keep throwing those Dancing Daggers out.
So, if Yang is on your side, does he still kick around the world if you use kick?
I haven't ever tried that. I have to guess that they did program back attack Yang to go and kick the correct way, but they never programmed back attacking you, Yang, to kick the correct way. For those who are unaware, if you face the boss, Karate, aka Yang, when he is mind-controlled in Baron, it's only really set up to go for kicking your party as its standard, where you are on the right, Yang's on the left, he kicks left to right. If he's in the back attack spot, you're on the left, he's on the right, but he still kicks left to right. So he will go to the edge of the screen, come back to the party, and kick you from behind. But Penniwhistle has gotten their Darkness Crystal and is now probably heading to the moon to hope to find some lovely character up there, and may experience some shade of disappointment, while Kinda Nerdy Housewife is keeping her important characters alive, and Cecil is being about as useful as he normally is in our deals.
But As not great as Tella is this early in the game, still not bad to have him filling out another space in your party.
Fills out another space in the party. He has Blink. He's got Cure too, which can do damage. It is.
That lit one helped out a lot on Kainatsu on K&H's side.
Yeah, when you are in a low damage situation, those tier 1 elemental spells can do a lot. Cure 2, killing off the last 2 enemies in the group. Definitely earning his place in the team, definitely helping out. Definitely looking forward to what happens after he gets through ordeals. Harumph, I believe you mean DKC is doing his best impression of late game Eddie. Early game Eddie, with a Dancing Dagger, as Penniwhistle has shown, is a powerhouse.
Kind of nerdy housewife. Might want to use Yang's kick right about now.
It's giving up a AoE cure too, but yeah, you are correct. The kick would probably take out the back zombies and, if nothing else, save time rather than damage, because back zombies aren't going to do much, but they're just going to keep throwing punches. The cure 2 is taking them out.
And Eddie is just going to hide.
One merciful change that Boardface has made in the event that you have a party of nothing but Edwards, Eddie will only auto-hide once in a fight. If you tell him to show afterwards, he will resist the urge to hide again and continue staying out for the rest of the fight. Asuka, is Edward bravely running away or bravely defaulting to his vanilla behavior?
You know, one thing about the gauntlet, you get XP for each fight, so...
Yeah, it is going to go and be more experience than you would have gotten normally here, so that's definitely going to help. It's helping Yang considerably. He might be doing quadruple damage with his fire claws, but he's doing much more than the 200 to 300 he was doing originally. He's now doing 700 with that, which can be a significant increase.
It's actually really nice finding the gauntlet in the altar at the end of ordeals, because normally that spot you don't get XP for. But if you've got the alt gauntlet there, you get XP for each one of those fights.
And that XP, it can be very, very interesting. There are new flags that can make it a very scary fight, such as if you play on the Sea Hero flags, one change is the vanilla game, Cecil takes us to fight on and says, no, this is just me. I must confront my darkness. Randomizer, we don't believe in fighting fair. We believe in, team comes in, team goes together, team that stays together fights together no matter what. Sea Hero goes back to, no, I have to go and do this alone. And you can have a Sea Hero of anyone in the game, including Tella or Edward or Cecil, who is level 1, because you don't get to get experience on Cecil. Might be a bit different going through the entire alt gauntlet on Cecil at level 1.
Well, he wouldn't be level 1 after the first one.
True. But Ordeals Game in the past is not progress. Yes, not progression, because we already have the Darkness Crystal, so we can go and get to Zeromus. But it is very nice to have anyways, because it's easier to go up to the moon and clear a bunch of it and then leave if you have the pass, because you never have to worry about making that walk down to the lunar subterranean twice.
Absolutely. And with a lot of these objectives we have, if you're finding the key items on the moon, you have to come back down.
Yeah, it is very likely that with 3 static objectives that are all related to key items on Earth, if you don't have those all cleared before you go to the moon, and you don't have just boss fights or character pickups, you're probably going to be going into coming back to the Earth after you do the moon. But Penniwhistle is through the plague on the first fight of Baron Inn and finds Mylan and Friends is the second fight. Going and working on taking out those gas. This is a kind of low magic power spot, but not incredibly low, as still getting 81 damage on a lit 1 counter.
Not going to be a super difficult fight either way. And kind of nerdy housewife is fighting Bomb Bomb. Pretty low HP spot, but the way Bomb Bomb divides up the HP can make it a bit longer of a fight.
Yep. Also, Penniwhistle, Edward goes down because Mylon is going in, throwing out lit 1s and doing some decent damage. 100 damage on this team is considerable, all things looking at everything.
Yeah.
And chat pointing out that Penny might be making a mistake, because if you go and kill Mylon before you kill the gas become unchained, and
yeah,
Mylon is making the big mistake of chaining up these zombies, because they are very, very willing to just wipe the floor with you if Mylon's not around.
Yeah, you don't want to kill Mylon first, because you're gonna get some ridiculous damage from the ghasts. That's one of those mistakes you only make once, though.
Agreed. Though it is, if you kill all the gas, Mylon will start throwing punches, which can be very painful in this spot. So not getting Mylon's throwing punches is a good thing. But you may want to go and kill all but one of those gas, so that you can you have just one gas there. Mylon goes down, you take that last gas out quickly, and you're set.
Yeah, higher HP spots definitely worth attacking Mylon quite a bit before getting rid of all the gas, but you still got to pay attention to how much damage he's taking.
Very much so. But Penniwhistle is going and grinding through this spot, going and making good use of Cure 2 potions. Meanwhile, Kinda Nerdy Housewife is taking their freshly minted Cecil and going into Antlion Cave.
Yeah, which D-Lunars shouldn't be too much of an issue for her.
No, I imagine that is going to be a much easier fight with their Yang at higher levels, their Cecil with an Ice Brand, their Tella with Fire 3, and their Edward, who continues to be part of the party.
And Mylon is talking about his body, which means he is on his way out.
Now, is Penniwhistle going to discover a harsh lesson, or is Penniwhistle going to go and receive a bit of a reprieve?
He is taking out a few of them.
Yep, it's got 2 of them. This is a rather slow spot, so... Holy snap-and-whistles, I have never seen those. Wow, that's a lot of attack multipliers.
Yeah, those 4-digit attacks.
Oh, this hurts. This really,
Yeah.
it's not even the 4 digits of damage, that's crushing.
Yeah, for a moment I thought he was gonna have enough agility to get them all down before they started really swinging.
Yeah, that's
But I think he knows not to do that again. Hopefully.
yeah, that hurts. That hurts on multiple levels. I think Tella's unfortunately going to start hurting the party as well, because Tella's queued up a reflectable spell, and D-Lunars are in their self-reflecting phase.
Yeah. Well, at least it hit the best party member to hit. Sorry, Asuka.
I'm just thinking of this as Tella finally went and took out the Spoony Bard. She just had to pretend to be on the Spoony Bard side for a bit. Tella didn't miss. Tella hit exactly where he was aiming.
Slow burn. And Penniwhistle this time taking out the ghasts first. So
Definitely a very reasonable response.
I think we all had that moment of, well, hey, Mylon is more difficult than the ghasts. Why don't I just take him out first? And then learning, oh, this is why. So, always some fun learning experiences in this
Speaking
game.
of learning experiences, Microcourse in chat is going and listing the attack power for this spot here. Ghasts have an attack power of 174 times 13.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Crystal Sword Cecil has an attack power of 200-ish, and is probably at similar attack power on the moon at level 50.
Kind of nerdy housewife bringing the hovercraft around. About to go underground. She hasn't done the Baron Inn, though, because she does not have that cane.
True, just deciding to fade it for now, which might end up being rather significant because it could be that pink tail, it could go and be part of the forge, it could be the twin harp. And to answer a question from chat from Cactus Owl, in Free Enterprise, all bosses are scaled based on the spot they are moved to. So if Mylan shows up in his vanilla spot, he's going to have his vanilla stats. If he shows up here, he is going to have his stats scaled to be weaker in magic power, but higher in physical attack power. Those ghasts, I imagine if you go and look them up in the vanilla game, actually have surprisingly high attack power, but because Mylan just enjoys shackling undead, they don't punch you, and you are better for it. And Mylan just being rude and hitting Edward for the exact HP he had left.
Well, Coffins and Bacchus in the Cave of Blana's shop. Kind of nerdy housewife picks up a few of each.
Definitely don't blame her for that. Those can be very helpful in any fight, any free fight you see here, and
she's got coffins, and I think she picked up some of those hourglass 2s earlier as well. So, looting these chests here without much worry for the monster chest that'll be here.
Yeah,
with the two stalemen.
Very nicely kitted out. Just deciding after a certain point of like, all right, I'm cutting my losses. I'm just not opening any more boxes. This is probably going to be nothing. There's a Lunar Sparkle.
That could be, there's two things it could be left. It could be our Ogopogo, or it could be Wyvern.
Oh, well, it can't be Wyvern if this is the logical route underground.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
It could be Kael'din, though.
I keep forgetting that includes the bosses that are here.
Correct. There is a situation where it could be Wyvern, though, if D-Mist is on the overworld and has the magma key.
Yeah, see, I always think it's like they can't be guarding the key item, and I forget that it's also like you can't have Golbez, Wyvern, or Val down here if you only found the hook.
Correct. And Antil and chat also pointing out that this Mylan could have the magma key. That is correct. I keep forgetting about this spot.
Yeah. Oh, it's a key.
A key not to our way forward, but the tower key. I love having the tower key when I go through the hook wrap because I can just land my hovercraft, do tower then because I've seen who the boss is. And when you get out of the tower after using the tower key, you are moved from the Falcon to the Enterprise, which is pretty helpful sometimes. Kane starts with a dancing dagger. That is a unique flavor of great in my book, because that dancing dagger is a very solid weapon. Kane at level 10 is not going to do a lot of damage unless he gets a power robe and some good strength boosting gear.
Yeah, it
but
looks
that
like
dancing dagger helps.
Yeah, it looks like Penny back row glitched him with the dwarf axe and then equipped the blizzard spear.
Kind of nerdy housewife walked into Upper Evelyn, opened one chest, found a defense sword, and is now leaving. I think they're remembering, oh wow, this would be great for Kane. I don't have Kane.
Yeah,
Because Kind of Nerdy Housewife did check Baron right after she launched the aircraft. Or the airship, excuse me. So she knows Kane's around. But she knows Kane's also not in her party until, well, it's going to change pretty quickly now, it seems. And Penniwhistle is going to go and be heading up Ordeals. We'll be going to be able to get the pass and promote their Tella and Cecil from potion duty to actual damage, and Tella from minor carry to serious carry. Kind of Nerdy Housewife also getting the information that Plague is not the boss on the hook route, is just going to go and be, it could be the Ogopogo that's required anyways, so maybe you don't go and hunt too hard for a Magma Key because you have to go through that Ogopogo fight sometime. Or you go forward and just take things as they come and hope that you can get a Magma Key and check back for that Luna Sparkle later.
yeah. Kind of Nerdy Housewife trying to take Tella down. Not sure if she didn't want him to get experience as an anchor, or if she was trying to do the revive strats. But either way, before any of that could come to fruition, she took out Plague and is now on to Mylon and friends.
Yep, it's going to go and be in decent position. Rosa trying to cure one. And meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going and fighting Kainazo on Ordeals, getting hit with a wave, but wave only doing double-digit damage, nothing too serious. Kane is taking to the air. I believe Kane has a Blizzard Spear, so if you can keep that wave down, then Kane's going to do... You're only doing 350 damage. Still, decent damage.
Yeah, Kane's back row glitched with the Blizzard Spear, I believe.
And Penniwhistle through that fight noticeably faster than Kind of Nerdy Housewife was, but I think the reverse can be said about Kind of Nerdy Housewife getting through Mylon, as all the gas are down, and we've got a tier 3 spell coming out. Oh no, Count of Virus coming out. Virus pulling out a respectable 850 damage. Definitely very nice to see, just with how generally tanky this spot is compared to the rest of the overworld spots. And now Penniwhistle gets to go and face the wrath of the zombie gauntlet. Mylon crumples, dissolves into Kane, and Kind of Nerdy Housewife gets the first choice of the seed. Who do you go and remove from this party?
Edward.
Oh, come on. Edward has been doing so much. He has been...
Edward.
But he's been a part of the part, and bye, Edward.
If we had a spoon at this point, I would have said maybe Tella, but Edward.
But now we can't say that Edward is, in fact, part of the party. But I have a hard time disagreeing with that as well. Edward is useful for some very specific things. He's good for going and cheesing Dark Knight Cecil in a high damage location. He's good at helping you do Thunderstruck Odin strats in certain locations as well, but otherwise his usefulness is somewhat limited. But going and equipping that Kane, giving him Samurai Sword, or Samurai Armor, Defense Sword. We would like to go and have someone who could use the Fine Hanzo Steel and whatnot, but edge is remaining hidden. And meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going to continue to push through this, everyone's favorite all gauntlet, because it is still going to go and take forever no matter what. It will always have the first turn. It will always get to go and hit you no matter what, so you're going to be losing a bit of HP every time. And Dark Knight Cecil is going to always be useless because he only has a Dark Sword. Picking up illusion, those illusions could be very helpful. Tello might start with a blink spell, but Tello is but one solitary caster. Having more ways of casting blink can be very helpful if you're dealing with a punchy boss on that hook route. Like, logically, with a Lunar Sparkle, it is, assuming that there is no Magma Key hidden on a D-Mist, it is either Ogopogo or Pale Dim, both of which primarily punch you.
Yep. Yeah, I used to not use illusions or blink very much, and then I realized that they are, like, absolutely broken in some boss fights.
Any boss that kills you in one hit is a boss that I will go and use an illusion on or blink spells, because, yeah, it's, turns out being able to say no to the first two physical attacks off of an enemy is really, really helpful, and the little girl is just, no, this is my pot!
I was just watching that. Just she was relentless.
I have. That's. I don't even know what to say to that. That NPCs. This is why we hate them, and never talk to them.
Well, except for one NPC.
There's a couple that I might go and speak to. Ah. We have found the Staleman chest. And we've hourglassed the Staleman chest. And yeah, kind of nerdy Housewife is going their way to make sure that their Tello stays down. A little unfortunate because I think Tello's going to be the best person to do damage for them this seed, or for this bit, as those tier 3 spells just bring a lot of power to the team that you currently don't have access to. And the Stalemen are weak to Ice, which would make Ice 3 pretty good at knocking out most of their HP, now that you've stopped them with an Hourglass. To answer a question from chat, why are we knocking down one of our characters? That is because of the agility system in Final Fantasy IV. The very abbreviated version is that it's based off of your middle character on these flags. So whoever's in the middle character slot, their agility value gets used for all of the calculations for battle speed. It can only go... Enemies can only be so much faster than you are, or in general, you can only have... There's a cap to how much faster anything can be than the anchor. So if you keep that number low enough, you can go and make your characters as fast as things that should be rightfully much faster than them. And Penniwhistle is getting their Paladin Cecil exploding onto the scene against this lovely Mom Bomb, while Tello is still waiting to go and get all their spells. And kinda nerdy Housewife is now making the dive down Upper Babel.
I mean, you're not wrong, Asuka.
The no Crystal Sword flag is, the Crystal Sword is an incredibly broken piece of equipment. The Kane's best weapon, the White Spear, has an attack power of 106. Cecil's second best weapon, the Excalibur, has an attack power of 150. The Crystal Sword has an attack power of 200 and gives plus 15 strength. It is completely true and unexaggerated to state that when Cecil gets a crystal sword, you can give it to him at level 1 and he will be doing over 1,000 damage.
Yeah, the only equipment with higher base attack is some of the new GBA weapons that are added in one of the new flags, and the spoon.
Yes, the spoon, which by default is a dartable only or edge only dartable weapon, but we like to give Edward something, so we allowed him to equip it. It just simply sets his Edward's attack power to 255, and he won't necessarily do 4 digits damage right away because he does need strength multipliers that Cecil gains from that crystal sword. But very good DPS if you can give your Edward just a small amount of strength.
Kinda Nerdy Housewife taking on the Mad Ogre chest. Use the life glitch on the first one. Doesn't quite get it on the second one though.
Yep, that's...
You kind of have to act fast on those.
Yes, I have gotten to the point where I put my life potions in one specific slot of the inventory to make sure that I never have to go and kind of Nerdy Housewife was going and menuing towards it at one point, but started clicking on their Cure 2 potions instead of their life potions and had to back out, and that small delay cost them the ability to get an extra life glitch.
Yeah, it's real easy to get tripped up on the menuing sometimes.
And to answer your question from chat, the GBA weapons have been brought in with the most recent patch, which involves using the flag Supersmith, which turns the Adamant and Legend into an XCL, into Forge the Adamant and Legend into one of the GBA weapons. That is the only way you'll be able to find them because they are quite powerful. The flag is also not turned on for this tournament because the update launched just before this tournament occurred, and we decided not to go and add that into the established flag set.
Cure 3s and silk webs.
That's a good shop. I am a big fan of buying at least 3 Cure 3s.
Yeah, and you always want to hold on to at least one silk web for Zeromus.
Yeah, those silk webs they're great for, you don't always have the luxury of being able to perfectly anchor, so a silk web can really change the tide of some fights. And Zeromus, you definitely want that silk web, just if nothing else, a nice quick nerf. We see kind of Nerdy Housewife going and getting themselves geared up to find out who is this boss here. It is
That's
Mylon
gonna
Z.
be Mylon Z. Or Mylon Z, as they would say up north.
I'd call him Mylon dead, but I don't think it's going to go that fast for the team. Though
Well, he's undead.
He's undead, but he's going and using a Bacchus one on Young to go and get him zerked up. Good move. The Fire Claw is going to do quadruple damage, and Mylon Z is going to take extra damage from that.
He is a punchy boy, and that's where those illusions would be coming in handy.
Or a nice handy blink spell from Tella. Puts Cecil down to critical HP, but Cecil lives through it. Yang is still blinked up, so Yang is probably going to be able to finish this fight solo. So while Kane goes down, Yang throws the last punch, and Mylon Z says his farewells.
And we'll find out momentarily who this Lunar Sparkle is. But first, kind of Nerdy Housewife's gonna do the wise thing and safety save.
I have never disagreed with... Yes, this is definitely a very wise move. Mylon Z, while not awful, wasn't free.
There are very few times where I don't take the safety save there. One of those times is if the second boss is King Queen Evelyn.
Yeah, it's you never want to go and risk having to go through that first fight again unless it was incredibly fast. And it is required. It is incredibly rude because this fight's mean. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Ogopogo, watch that first attack took out the entire party's half of their HP. That's because Big Wave does
slot.
Yep, Big Wave does 25% of the character's max HP as damage. It can be dodged, but it's really hard to in this spot. And then Ogopogo starts punching you.
And again, illusions and blinks would be very nice.
Yes. This is Housewife did also have a bit of trouble because she hesitated a bit in her menus, which cost her a bit of time and let Ogopogo get a bunch of turns out. And this is a hard fight. This isn't an easy fight. This is probably one of the harder hook rat bosses in general for 2 reasons. Aside from always that Big Wave just hurts. You have to go and being able to do AoE healing, which you don't have because you're probably the best spell you're gonna have is probably Cure 2. Second thing is, if you level up to go and get more strength, you're going to get more HP, which means you're going to go and get hurt more on that hook route. Or on that Big Wave.
Penniwhistle went to the Mist Cave and found Valvalis there and decided to fight her. I guess looking for some extra experience.
Might have forgotten to save outside the cave as well, so they decided, well, I don't want to go reset.
Yeah.
And Kinda Nerdy Housewife has decided that's Ogo no go, and backing out of the tower to get some supplies, I'm guessing. But Penniwhistle is now going in, moving their hovercraft down to check this hook route. And we'll be getting some information about how, yes, an objective is here. You will be required to go through an Ogopogo, one of objective number 5, in order to get to the second half of the seed.
I mean, in theory, you could just go to the moon.
True, you could go to the moon.
In theory.
You could go to the moon and maybe find a magma key. Might be a bit tricky, though.
Yeah.
So, how many
you can find Officer Soldier up there.
Find Officer Soldier, you can find Dark Imps, you could go and find Bahamut, you could find
King Queen Evelyn.
Could do Terror Test for some extra experience and maybe pull a Crystal Sword. There are options you can do.
Not likely ones that our runners will pick, but you can do them.
Yeah. I guess
if you like making the big brain plays.
Getting Cure 3 on Rosa would go and make it easier just because Cure 3 is a good spell. Kinda Nerdy Housewife is going in, walking into Mist Cave, realizing that she hasn't saved, going to save, and then walk back in.
Gotta find that Valvalis.
And is just resetting. One punch might get through the fight, but it's not really worth it. Penniwhistle is going in, looting this cave.
Chat suggesting that, Kinda Nerdy Housewife getting a bit more experience on Rosa would mean getting her blink as well. So, faster blinks getting off.
Very true.
Oh, Gambit says we were just reading the same thing. Yeah, yep. Gambit saying go D Machine and then come wreck Ogo.
There is a slight downside to that. One thing we added to the slide set was Vanilla Giant, which if you go into the Giant of Babel in the vanilla game, you can't leave it until you beaten everything. There is no backing out of that. You need to defeat the elements, you need to defeat the CPU, and defeat the giant that is trying to destroy the world. Free Enterprise, we don't really make you do that. It's like, yeah, okay, you can go, come in, take some pictures, maybe fight some D machines, and leave without fighting any bosses. We turned off the option to leave without fighting any bosses. If you go into the giant, you're going through it.
What happens in Giant stays in Giant.
Unless you get a lot of experience and beat all the bosses there, then what happens in the Giant is you turn into just a fearless demon-slaying, monster-slaying machine.
I mean, if you can find the ethers for sale somewhere, you'd have all that you need for.
I mean, we have characters with MP. We have Cecil and Rosa. You could steal MP from them in the middle of the fight.
No, that's true.
That I have been in some very desperate situations to go and do a D machine grind and gone in there with 0 ethers, but a few people who I could steal MP from, and kind of every housewife has discovered that there's not a Demas tiny on the overworld. That's Golbez sitting there in his tower.
I guess you just decided to go to Zot and do the first boss, but now Golbez.
Yep, that was that was very much so a please let there be a Demas there. Nope, not finding that. Got to go back into this fight. Sending their battle speed to 6. So left to save, came back to it. Good play, and is now going to go and take another shot at this Ogopogo, turning down their battle speed to 6 to make sure that they have plenty of time to input to their actions and get their turns off, go and put something together, because you do not want to be giving up turns to Ogopogo.
You know, it could be a demist on the giant. Could be blocking a required key item at Radio's mom.
There very well could. It would be amusing if it was the Twin Harp, which also blocked one of the fours or the Pink Tail.
Yeah, exactly.
We could still see Giant. Well, the numbers play is to go in and take on this Ogopogo. And Cecil looks to have some very, very nice defense, as Cecil took 9 points of damage from a punch from Ogopogo. He is in the back row, but that is a very nice thing to have going for him.
It's entirely possible that Cecil is back row glitched as well.
Yes. And kind of new to Housewife, discovering that yes, here too, split across 5 people circles to go and do 3 digits healing, only getting 100 healing, using an illusion on Cecil. Just wants to make sure that Cecil covers and just heals, doesn't go and get taken down by a stray punch, because there are damage ranges on there. You can go and take 9 on one hit and then 160 or several hundred on another.
Well, Yang not surviving that wave.
That is, it improves the efficiency of the cure 2s because it's split between fewer characters and you're going to heal for more. But Yang is kind of the damage on the team right now.
Yeah, and he's got the most HP out of all the...
Yeah, that unfortunately is the big problem with Ogopogo. Your HP is not to your benefit on those big waves if you don't have a good way of healing it up. Answer question from chat. No, KNH has 6 healing potions left, but that might be why... 5 now, yes. That might be why KNH has opted to use Life 1 with Rosa.
Ooh. Yeah, Ogopogo is mean.
Ogopogo is not the boss you want to fight here, pretty much ever. It's, It was a very, very unpleasant thing. It's an unpleasant fight in general. I think it was my first ever hook boss, and I got hard stuck on that for a while.
Penniwhistle getting some good experience out of the Mad Ogre chest, though. And pretty soon he's going to be up to where kind of nerdy Housewife is.
Yep. He's going to go and get to face that Mylan kind of nerdy Housewife, resetting out to outside of Mist Cave. Going to go and either do some shopping, maybe going to go to the moon, but deciding that Ogopogo is just not happening right now. Penniwhistle is getting ready to go and see who the first is going to go and charge into Mylon Z and discover that fight. Probably have to go and not have a hard time getting through it, but might be a little awkward. While KNH is just looking for something from the shops to give her an edge.
Those Troya shops are not very well stocked. Unless you want mallets.
I don't think we need to go and be curing mini. I think we need to go and be curing us getting flattened. To answer a question from chat, Penniwhistle does have the defense sword that Housewife has. That was in the first chest of Upper Babel, so both of them have found that defense sword. Unfortunately, Kane is getting knocked out as Mylan Z still hurts.
Yeah, 2 very punchy bosses in a row. Blocking the way. Some lives and cure 2s.
Cecil's only taking a few hundred points of damage. I'm wondering if that Cecil has some defense resistant gear, which is... That could go and make things very easy for Penniwhistle if you swap your rows and put your Cecil in the back row and just put Cecil on cover duty. Because Cecil, the defense in Final Fantasy IV is not entirely straightforward. Yes, being in a back row doubles your defense, but that doubling your defense can actually reduce your damage by significantly more than half. That's because it's attack damage multiplied by number of hit. And if your defense is doubled and your defense is 40, going from 40 to 80, the hits are doing, say, 70 to 90, well, you go from taking, say, 300 damage to 10.
The city is selling Ether wands, I'm just saying.
Are we going back to the Fabul Gauntlet and Highway to the Three Zone? You just go and do your D-Machine grinds. I'm not going to go and disagree with that because sometimes power overwhelming, even if you are overwhelmingly overleveled, is still going to be faster.
I mean, look, if there's a D-Mist up there and it has a required key item, like, that is a power play.
The unfortunate thing is that there's a D-Mist up there. This is going to be a long fight because 3 Berserkers against D-Mist is still an unpleasant fight. No nuke is going to be very painful if you have to fight a high HP D-Mist because you don't want to Berserk. So that means you're pressing the attack command a lot. But kind of nerdy Housewife is choosing to go up to the moon. I wonder if they're going to try and take some moon encounters or if they're going to go and maybe some moon bosses. Ah, yes. Our restreamer may be going and correcting me. It is not attack, it is the fight command. And to go and shout out to our restreamer Smapty and our tracker Ascarian, who are both going and doing behind the scenes work. And thank you to Dijon Ketchup for joining me today in the booth for commentary, as we wouldn't be able to put on a race without all of the work that our lovely volunteers put on.
And thanks to Baka Shinobi, who can't thank himself without looking conceited.
I mean, I am conceited, but you're all right. I should try and avoid looking that.
Well, that's either Ruby or Elements, and kind of nerdy Housewife's just gonna exit.
There is an argument for going and checking that, because if it's Elements, you could, with the right armor on Cecil or the right setup, you could actually get through that with some reflex strats. The Mylan Z might go and punch, but if you have, say, crystal armor on Cecil, crystal armor is undead resistant. The Mylan phase of Elements is undead, so you can go and get that very high damage defense boost from that crystal armor, which is already pretty strong. Cover your Tella, put up a wall and reflect some fire 3s, and you will go and kill that. You'll exploit the elemental weakness of fire for that Mylan phase, and probably get through that fight. But it might take a little bit. And words are hard. Plumeria Knight, putting out that Rubicant might not be too bad because the magic power in that spot is reasonably low. So the fires and glares might not be terrible to deal with in that spot.
Guess KNH is just gonna dive some of these altars and see. Calbrana dolls? I mean, if she can,
There are less free fights.
Yeah, but if she can take them out in the right order,
Yeah, if you can stop.
For one, she's freezing the back ones with that hourglass.
Yep. So if you can get some berserks out and maybe take out some of them, that's doable. And Asuka and chat pointing out hourglass and then frog. You can go and have telecast that frog spell. You can't turn into the big doll if you're a frog, so that would be pretty helpful.
I mean, that is a good point. They never taught us that in school.
They just wanted to not give you any excuses to avoid getting dolled up for them. Meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going in, making headway into this Ogopogo fight, but that Ogopogo fight is going to make some good headway into them, unfortunately, because Rosa is down, Tella is casting a spell, and the only person who's still free is Kane. Kira 3 goes off, heals up the remaining team to full. And if Penniwhistle can get through this Ogopogo fight, they will definitely have an advantage over Kinda Nerdy Housewife, because moonfights are good experience. If you can kill this Cal fight before the stop wears off, it'll be very nice. But you're on the clock now. You have to go and beat this fight before that stop wears off. Ooh. Penniwhistle is out of life potions. This is very grim for them, and Kane goes down.
And chat was saying that Penny didn't go back and save after Mylon Z.
That is very unfortunate. It's understandable that you feel, if you feel behind, you want to go and just push that fight.
Yeah.
But that unfortunately hurts. KNH is down to the last doll, so
And
just needs to finish this off before that stop wears out, and you'll have one moonfight done. It's not very often that worrying about the hourglasses is a thing, but
wow, she did it. That is some
experience.
That's some nice XP, and she could get a very nice item here. Package could be a good character. Might actually be worth checking.
It could be a good character. 16,000 experience did get Berserk on Rosa, which is very helpful. KNH has that going for her now. Package for Fusoya would be good. Package for Edge would be theoretically nice, but Edge would need some experience to, I guess, Edge with a Murasame, and you've got some fine Hanzo steel. You got a ninja shirt would make them quite potent against any punchy bosses, because they'd be able to go and survive with less damage taken. KNH going and back rowing her Cecil, so definitely making sure that he is in good position.
Looks like she's trying all combinations of it just in case she's getting the glitch wrong, which, I mean, is definitely a thing I would do if I wasn't sure. And some of these things are picky enough that, it's easy to forget. Better safe than sorry.
Agreed. It's very easy to have also having done KNH is playing, having gone through different saves, so she may have gone and done the back row glitch on one save, but not done a different save, and just went back to one, it didn't have it, came back to this one. So, very easy, but Penniwhistle is going back into the Ogopogo fight. Is going to go and keep trying against it, jumping with Kane, powering with Yang. He's going to go and try and heal through it. Going and pulling out the lit threes. So Ogopogo, in addition to taking off most of your HP to start and constantly taking off in more big waves, also counters magic. Most magic Ogopogo counters with Blaze, which is an ice elemental attack that does 25% of your max HP as damage. Unless you're using a lightning elemental spell, then it counters with weak. It's not weak to lightning or anything, it just likes tricking you. K&H is diving deep into the moon, looking to go to the bottom of the moon and take some fights down there. Maybe they'll see if they can find something free. Maybe they'll take on some trap chests to see if they can get something. They're going to the Crystal Sword altar first, it seems.
It's a pretty bold play, rather than just like trying to faceplant that Ogopogo again and again. I mean, she was already paid off with the first fight against the dolls. There's 4 more fights in the subterrane.
And there's trap chest there are hourglasses up here. If you just simply grab some of those and take out some warlocks and carries, you'll get some good experience from them. Tella can go and just cast stone on them, and that's the fight over. Antlion, I don't know if you want to fight this.
Yeah, Tella's the only one who could really do anything to it without it countering, and it is way too fast. Oh my gosh.
Not just is it fast, it's going perfectly through her order. First punches the character. First punches Kane, who has an active turn, then punches Yang, who has an active turn, then punches Cecil, who has an active turn. K&H wildly saying, do I want another go? No, I don't want another go. Let's go somewhere else.
It had her questioning what Tella's speed was.
Tella is not a very fast character, but you're going to need a lot of levels before you're relative agility 1 against moon bosses. Or at least you're at equal turn speed for moon bosses.
But yeah, very fast, low magic, which doesn't matter. That's a spot for
the spot of trouble. That's what it is. K&H going and checking the plague spot first. We're going to see what boss is here. I believe K&H still has some coffins as well. So if there's something coffinable, this, you can go and get that. Well, we now know who is in Cave Bahamut. It is in fact.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Rubicon's theoretically doable, but probably painful.
Yeah. I mean, even with a leveled up party, I'm not a big fan of Rubicon in the moon.
He can be a bit rude. Octomam, I think, is a bit more. I mean, he's going to hurt a bit, but you throw some illusions and you just have some technicals.
You need enough speed to use blinks and illusions.
I mean, throw up a couple blinks, go and get some hits in. You'll go and slow that octopus down.
Yeah, well, the problem is getting them off to start doing the first hits.
Yes.
We've got one more spot to check in here.
It's Ogopogo altar. We found you. We found where you came from, or where you are now. What's straight to place with you today?
Oh. Okay. Well,
the moon is not terribly kind. The K&H is just an idea. We're out.
Yeah, I don't even think Wyvern Standard Time is gonna help there.
No, you're gonna need a curse string to go and get to that. K&H is just very decidedly, yep, we're gone. We're out of the moon. Moon's haunted.
Well, she can go check that package and see if it's a foo, or maybe an edge.
Yeah. It was Wyvern at Ogopogo Alternate to answer a question from chat.
The Kaipo Inn boss could be a Demist.
If the Kaipo Inn boss is a Demist leading to Twin Harp, leading to one part of Forge, that would be incredibly rude and hilarious. But Penniwhistle is still in this Ogopogo fight. We have been sidetracked by the moon because that is pretty amusing.
Okay, well that's
Palom's not going to be great against Ogopogo, but Palom is kind of great.
Yeah, but replacing somebody she's already got? I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with it. With at least some level of trepidation, that person that they've got also has a fair amount of experience on them. But there are hourglasses. You could go up to the hairdryer chest and try and stop them and life glitch them and get a bunch of experience to get Quake on the kid, which still isn't really going to help on the Ogopogo fight. Okay. You could get some good value out of Palom on the Ogopogo fight if you get out to Virus, Bluff, Reflect, and rely on potions to keep everyone alive.
But I mean, to get that amount of levels.
The hairdryer's chest should probably be enough if you go and stop it and life glitch all of them.
Well, I guess luckily for K&H, Penniwhistle had to reset on Ogo.
Yeah,
God, this is just a big wall for our racers today.
There's at least a small out of the Darkness Crystal granting a grind option, because otherwise it's Ogopogo. Even this team, it's pretty good for Ogopogo. You've got the option of a few Berserkers and a Tella and a Rosa. It's just a rude fight.
Oh, it's CPU.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
she's setting out. I was wondering if she was about to fight it. Yeah, D-Machine looking really nice right about now. Like, even with whatever two bosses could be at the end, it would be more progress than Ogopogo is giving them right now.
Yeah, that's it's hard to disagree with. Ogopogo is a very specific shade of rude for this team. K&H is going into Castle Eblin to go and hit the trap chest here. Don't disagree with this if you're feeling you want more experience or you want to go and maybe pull some good treasure. You can find it here. There is 3 trap chests here, and
answering the question in chat, Kainatsu was at Ordeals.
Yes, Kainatsu was at the first spot of Ordeals. Alt Gauntlet was the back spot of Ordeals. Ooh,
2 ribbons. 2 ribbons right there in that first room, damn.
That'll be pleasant for that Golbez, but not necessarily going to help out too much with Ogopogo.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ogopogo doesn't really do anything that... Yeah.
Ogopogo is a very simple noodle. It does damage. A lot. And in different flavors.
And you can't use magic against it because it does more damage.
I mean, you can't. Can and should are 2 very different words. Golbez, we found, is at the Mega Sisters spot in the Tower of Zot. Well, an extra defense sword is kind of nice.
Another sword for Edge.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
I know, right? Well, I mean, one of the objectives is to get Edward. That's Edge. Right?
If we go by his full name, right?
Black Sword, that would have been great, like, 30 minutes ago.
Insult to injury already. Also, all 3 trap chests in the right tower of Castle Eblin. Going in.
Swapping that light sword for a defense sword.
The pedantic edge case theory crafter in me wonders if it's technically a DPS upgrade, because I think all holy swords are 99% accuracy, while the defense sword is only 90% accuracy.
Well, we've been talking about Edge cases. We still haven't found him.
I like the cut of your jib. Hey, that's
Nope.
our first monster trap chest.
Monsters in the pot.
And we're and K&H is going and taking the time to knock off Tella. While Penniwhistle got a Blaze counter, which is unfortunately going to go and do a lot of damage to their team. Answer a question from chat. So if you only have to do 4 out of the 5, can the logic make it one impossible, or all 5 always required? Always possible. All 5 are always possible. You will always be able to get every key item in a seed, get access to every boss. Demas will never not be in a seed where they are gifting, or when they are holding a key item. So you will always be able to get all the key items. And with all the key items, you'll be able to get to every boss. Now, you are able to make seeds that are probably unwinnable in the form of, I have made it so that there are no treasure chests, no shops. My only character is Edward. Random encounters don't give experience, and
Oh, pros to learn Blink. And a ninja sword.
it is their castle. It makes sense.
I mean, yes. You're not wrong. That.
Second trap chest has been found. Also, amusingly enough, it would have been against some of these fights, Cecil's Holy Sword will do more damage because it's holy.
Edge could be on the giant. I like the way you think, Gambit.
Let's go and take this even further. Edge could be on the giant. Giant could be Dark Imps into Kaipo guards. We have hourglasses and coffins available to us. Oh, that's
Avenger.
something that helps. That helps a lot.
That's nice.
That's enough to say, all right, now I leave.
That's...
So the Avenger, nice sword, does decent damage, gives +10 to strength and agility, automatically berserks a character. Really helpful when you're going and having trouble getting all your actions in, because berserk doesn't need to. You just get that character's turn, and they're going to say, "Oh, my turn, I attack. Oh, my turn, I attack." I'm just going to go and keep attacking. You can go and have fun with this.
Also, another fun part, if you have a sword that's better than the Avenger, damage-wise, you just have that sword first, go into your item menu in the battle, swap that sword for the Avenger, and Avenger takes over doing Berserk, but doesn't change the stats from that first equipped sword.
Yep. If you don't input a command, you get automatically berserk when you equip the Avenger. But in order to go and get the game to realize that you have changed your sword, you need to input a command. K&H, I mean this in the nicest way. You can afford to buy more than 1 or 2 of those things. You have 6 digits to your money. You can buy 10 of each of them. That is, I appreciate the frugal nature to this.
Still hoping for sirens later on.
Buy 10 Bacchus Spawn and 2 coffins. You'll still have plenty of money for potions. And the life staff is going to go and improve Rose's Cure 2, so it'll probably give her at least 1 more multiplier on her healing spells. Actually, I think it's every 4 for spell multipliers. So that that can go and be pretty helpful. But Penniwhistle is still going and working on getting through this fight, looking at their Cure 3 potions and using them sparingly. They're expensive. They do a lot because they bring Yang all the way back up to full HP. LaliHo unfortunately is low on HP and is casting Lit 1, which is going to unfortunately draw another weak counter, which is not going to be in the party's favor. But K&H coming back down, deciding that I have gone and found exactly what I need to go and turn this Nook Noodle into a way forward.
Way forward, known developers of things such as the Shantae series.
I know some of their other games, but I can't remember the exact titles off the top of my head.
They did the DuckTales remastered.
That is true. That is definitely not a bad game from what I've played of it.
It's fun. I speedrun it.
Ah. The moon there is a bit nicer than the moon on this.
Yeah.
And K&H is just looking at their party and getting ready to set up. Meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going and continuing to push forward in this.
And we've got Nope Ropes in stereo. Yeah, just like comparing side by side the HP values of K&H's characters and Penniwhistle's characters, you can see just how much like that extra like those trap chests and the dolls on the moon really kind of pushed her levels up some.
Yeah, though that could work against K&H just because you need to be able to heal that HP. Rose might have a life staff, but she's still only rocking Cure 2. And Kane is down. He's used that, he used an illusion. Ogopogo is going and getting a lot of hits out. And there comes another set of big waves. This is going to take out the team, I think. Yeah, it's a double. K&H probably needs to lower battle speed and get commands in. Probably just needs to start with a character Berserked as well. Throw the Avenger on someone and let them just go. Let Rosa worry about flanking them.
Just equip the Avenger on Cecil, probably.
Yeah, give it to either Cecil or Kane. Maybe give it to Kane and let Cecil try and do some cover duty. While Kane just is your damage.
She's checking all her characters' agilities.
Yeah, one helpful thing about that Avenger, just equipping it straight onto someone, will go and give them another 10 agility, which makes some people considerably much better relative agility. And Kananuri Housewife did lower her battle speed, which will make it much easier for her to go and get her actions in quicker.
Yeah, relative agility is can be a bit complicated. It's about more than just having like low speed on your center person.
Yeah, there's a lot of math you can do. You can go and hit certain breakpoints and just manipulate things to be in your favor, but it requires a fair amount of a lot of things.
And if you like put a cursed ring on a character with just the right amount of speed, it actually like makes your relative agility worse than better.
You go, if you put a curse ring on a character with exactly 15 agility, or a combination of items that subtract the exact amount of agility that the character has, they get on to 0 agility, which makes everyone relative agility 1 permanently. But both of her runners are having lots of fun with this fight, and Penniwhistle is unfortunately losing some characters to a double big way of losing turns their entire team to double big wave, as Yang is the only one who's going to survive this. And then Ogopogo has continued to prove why they are the Nope group. The Nope Noodle. The destroyer of hope and devourer of dreams. I've said before, but this was the first Hook boss I ever fought, and I was real scared of Hook Rats for a long time after that.
First Hook route boss you ever fought, and you came back?
Came back and it's like, wow, Hook Rats are awful. Why would you do this? I discovered that not every boss is that bad. And then I also discovered Kinazo at Hook Route and discovered that some are even worse. Potential.
Looks like Penniwhistle turned on encounters.
Not going to disagree with this plan in the slightest. This is, I'm not making progress, give me levels, let's go and get somewhere. Going and taking encounters in Upper Babel is against Root Hook bosses is a very rational thing to do. I appreciate chat going and listing out all of their awful Hook Route experiences and all the things that have traumatized them in the past, as I'm sure anyone who's looking to get into this randomizer is just eager to hear all the different ways things have gone very poorly for people. That said, we continue to play this randomizer not just because things can go really badly for us, but because we have a lot of fun. And if you enjoyed this randomizer, feel free to join us on the Free Enterprise Discord. It is a place where we are more than happy to talk about the game and help you get through some of these incredibly rude seeds. And yeah, K&H's fight is moving very nicely. Characters are in good HP. Tella is going and throwing out an AoE Cure 4. That is going to heal quite a bit. Everyone is at fully being on K&H's side. That is definitely what you like to see with the disco rave party going on with the blinks back and forth.
Yeah, keeping everybody blinked, keeping everyone fully healed. It's definitely working out for her. Especially since I think she has her 3 hitters. Oh, there she goes.
There goes Ogopogo crumbling before the opposition that K&H has put forth. And we're going to have our first runner getting through the Hook Route boss at 1 hour, 35 minutes. This is not a nice seed. This seed really liked just beating up our runners. And that is objective number 5 on the board for K&H. All key item hunts left, but theoretically only need to find 2.
Remember to turn her battle speed back up.
Better player than I. I would forget immediately.
The true final boss.
I would forget immediately and wonder, man, my menu is great. I'm getting all my actions in. And then wonder why the fights take forever. And we discovered that evil wall is at the top of tower.
Cool. Well,
you've got the tower key, you've got the pan, you've got the entire underworld open to you, and you got a good number of levels. Where do you go first?
Usually, you want to check your freebies, and that's going straight to the Fate March.
I mean, we've got pan, so we can go and check. That's also a freebie. I also have a bias against the Falcon. I'm sorry. I like to go and have the Enterprise, so I would actually consider landing immediately and killing that evil wall. Bright side, if we find any more lunar sparkles, we know exactly which boss they are. They're Peldim.
Yeah.
And kind of Nerdy Housewife is choosing to go straight down the Sylph Cave path, and don't blame her in the slightest. Antlion may have been one of her last checks in the overworld, and it may have taken her a long time to get through a hook route. But this is the most dense set of key items she can find, and even if she doesn't turn the pan in right away, it's out of her hair. She doesn't have to worry about it. She can go to Fabul whenever it's convenient while checking other checks. Maybe does this checking checks Feymarch.
But yeah, hour and 37 in, like, you've got to imagine both runners are thinking that the other runner has gotten, like, way ahead of them, and really, they're not that far apart. That's how nasty this Ogopogo is.
Yeah, it is very easy to go and think, I have completely botched the seed. Things are going completely sideways. I have no hope of getting through this, but you keep in it because your opponent is dealing with the same garbage you are, and it's not guaranteed they've dealt with it more gracefully. Penniwhistle has taken their extra levels and is going back into the Ogopogo fight. Rosa has 600, almost 600 HP now, so looking a little bit better. Cecil and Yang have close to the HP that K&H has. K&H finds the party rock in Feymarch's chest.
Well, we know Golbez is there. Oh, sirens.
Well, you now have an easy way of getting experience. Where would you like to go for it? You have all the options.
Yeah, you can do the eggs down here. You can go into the moon and do, you know, the King Ryu's or the... Oh, there's King Queen Eblin and Water Hag. Side by side.
Well, we found the free bosses. KH is probably going to go and use a tent to get all their HP back, or enough HP to hit that Water Hag 3 times and survive the...
To be fair, that's not the freest of Water Hags, but definitely more free than if they were swapped.
It's freer than anything we've seen on the moon, outside of those dolls.
Yeah, for sure.
Because for those who have not seen what is on the moon, we have Elements at Cape Bahamut, Antlion at Wyvern Spot, Rubicant at Plague, Octomam at D-Lunars, and Wyvern at Ogopogo. I don't think K&H is terribly excited to go back and fight most of those bosses.
Yeah.
The nicest thing in that moon were the Calbrina dolls at Murasame, which gave 16,000 experience and a package that leads to Hallam and CPU. And Penniwhistle is back into their Ogopogo fight after getting some more levels. The fight's mean. I don't know how many other ways to say it. Ogopogo is probably my favorite boss from a design standpoint, just because of how well-rounded and rude the fight is. Because you can't just simply have one simple vector to defeat Ogopogo.
Not a key item, but Dragoon Spear.
Hey, would you like to grind better? Here, have the best weapon in the game for grinding dragons. K&H walking back to Dave, then remembers, wait, no,
I was like, you don't need to heal. You're fine.
I'm pretty sure I can win.
Like, one of your characters lost some HP.
One of your characters lost some HP, and I don't think this boss is going to be able to do a total of 1,000 damage to your entire team. I think your team has done more damage to your team than the enemy team is going to do.
Right?
unfortunately, Penniwhistle takes another reset on Ogopogo. The fight's rude. The fight is mean, and it is very, very difficult to go and get through with some setups. And this melee heavy setup might seem nice, but the lack of healing and the high HP makes it pretty tricky to get through. And chat pointing out that the Avenger Kane is doing more to draw out this fight than the enemies are, because I'm pretty sure the enemies are quite close to just deciding that they're done with this fight. But every time we swing, it's just an animation that takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, you could have just sat there from the beginning and not really worried about it.
Could use speedrun strats where you make telecast stop on Kane to prevent him from doing anything, and then kill off Tela. But K&H has decided, no, I want blood. I have seen... Well, what was at your spot wasn't too bad. What was at the spot behind you is awful enough. I wish to go and extract vengeance from you.
This is revenge for your castle and the path through your cave.
This is revenge for not letting your son come out and play. Why isn't Edge around? We want Edge. Give us Edge.
Well, who needs more Edge when you've already got Kane?
I don't know. Kane seems a bit more the type to get to the point.
We've also got Cecil.
Cecil does have you covered.
Hey! Speaking of Cecil.
Okay, I said that line too soon. Cecil now has everything covered. I like how Cecil gets moved to the top slot and is getting that crystal sword immediately. I think we're going to see that Avenger. Oh, maybe the Avenger will get left on Kane for a while, but
so no key items, but a couple of free fights and some killer weapons. I think I would be dying to get those weapons too. Still the right choice.
It's real hard to go and argue against. Boy, fighting King Queen Evelyn and Feymarch and getting a crystal sword was not worthy of my time.
And then there was a water hag with a dragoon spear.
As I'm thinking of going and killing eggs, I mean, really, that was just an awful Feymarch. Also, we got the Earth Crystal from the Feymarch. The Feymarch is just absolutely stacked with treasure. Would you like to have obscene amounts of treasure? The Feymarch has you covered. Yep, that's a dead egg, all right. With Avenger Kane just saying, no, Cecil, I'm going first. And that's just, K&H is going to go and get probably enough experience to feel really good about doing anything, anywhere.
Yeah, now that she's got the Dragoon Spear, the Crystal Sword, the Avenger, Kinda Nerdy Housewife is really cheesing this seed.
I mean, her enemies are going to melt in front of her. I think we've gotten through enough of the sticky situations that it's all easy street from here on out.
I mean, her blades are just too sharp.
This seed started very, very poorly with the Young, Cecil, Edward, Hela first characters that you could reasonably get. And you have to go through Ogopogo on a hook route. You do get the mercy of a Darkness Crystal, which opens up some grind options, but you still have to get through Ogopogo on a hook route. But when you get through that Ogopogo on the hook route and go down to the Feymarch, you get the most free set of everything from there.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
But Penniwhistle is through, has defeated Ogopogo, at 1 hour, 47 minutes.
Hooray!
12 minutes behind Kinda Nerdy Housewife, but they can still make some checks that will go and pay out. We still have 3 objectives to find. We don't know where they're going to show up. And there's not really much getting rid of the other two. Well, okay, so we found the first objective.
Okay.
Pink Tail was...
White shirt's pretty good for Rosa. Not gonna complain after getting the pink tail.
So the pan is just equipment. The best caster equipment in the form of a Stardust Rod for plus 15 Wisdom and a White Shirt for plus 15 Willpower. The Fey March is a pair of amazing weapons and a party rock. The underground checks aren't exactly paying out, but they're paying dividends.
The seat is being a lot nicer now.
You say that. We don't know where Twin Harp is. We don't know where Adamant and Legend are. And we don't know what Wyvern has.
Yeah, but with a grind and those weapons that we've gotten, like, most of those moon bosses shouldn't be nearly as bad as they were on K&H's first dive.
That is correct. Wyvern, however, is still going to nuke the party real hard every single time he casts it, because that Ogopogo spot is not shy about the magic power it has. It is real generous with giving it magic power, and Nuke is a spell that just really loves to have generous magic power.
Oh, another white shirt.
We heard you like first white shirt. Would you like second white shirt? But now, Kinda Nerdy Housewife is 1 objective away from Go Mode. Just needs to go and either find the Twin Harp and complete Cave Magnus, or the Adamant and Legend Sword and forge an Excalibur, which we'll just laugh at as she already has a Crystal Sword. We found more defense swords.
Yeah. Looks like Kinda Nerdy Housewife is gonna hit up tower.
I don't blame them, because Kinda Nerdy Housewife can probably go and crush that wall with the might of a Crystal Sword, an Avenger, a Dragoon Spear, and a Monk that kind of likes punching walls.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter what's at Super Cannon, because that spot is a pushover with like 1,000 HP.
Yep. That's the worst things that could be there, we've already seen. Golbez can't be there because he's at Magus Sisters. Waterhead can't be there because he's in Fey March. All Gauntlet can't be there because he's in the back attack spot of Ordeals.
Wyvern can't be there because it's an Ogopogo.
Yep. Ogopogo can't be there because he was at Rubicant.
What if it's the Magus Sisters?
Oh no, you need to switch.
No, it's paled him. It's paled him.
We have found all of the moon bosses in this seed.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are dead.
Yeah.
One of them is sitting there in the Ogopogo spot, and that one is Wyvern.
Yeah, that one. I mean, we've got Star Veils.
We got Star Valves. You just have to go and get the agility, and then be able to survive the fact that the new cast is probably killing a party member each time, unless you have 2,000 or 3,000 HP on your character.
Hey, Smapey, remember when I told you not to roll a seed that was as mean as the one from the other night?
Yeah, it turns out Asuka's not the only person who rolls bad, mean seeds that crush the spirit of the runners. Smapey can go and bring the pain too. And here I thought Smapey was a holy paladin seeking to go and protect all that. He's not. He's a Dark Knight, it seems. Smapey, let me know when you class change to something that doesn't like hurting people as much as this. Then again, I enjoy mean and rude seeds sometimes, so maybe I should ask Smapey to go and roll any practice seed I need. True, Smapey, you did give a paladin to start and a crystal sword. You just gave them behind a wall of pain.
Well, here's a literal wall of pain.
I think this wall is in for pain, more like it.
Didn't Wall of Pain do that song Jump?
I'm impressed that you believe I know any song.
Kane can jump.
King can also go and swing that Avenger, and Yang is probably in the greatest danger, taking 400 damage a swing. And Penniwhistle is discovering that, yes, welcome to the free march. Would you like free weaponry? Oh, and they are choosing to opt for the Crystal Sword option first.
I don't know, Asuka. You rolled mine the other night.
There are... Free Enterprise is not shy in the way it can go and dispense pain. It's just going to hurt a lot. If it wants to hurt you, it'll hurt you.
Well, the wall has come tumbling down. Sand Ruby, there could be an edge.
Do you care at this point? You're high 30s. Yang is doing appreciable damage. You might be able to go and give edge to Murasame's and feel good, but...
And he at least starts off at, what, 20?
25.
25?
Yep.
Man, could be Fu.
Fu would be pretty nice for the moon bosses if you have to go through it. Though, without a curse...
At the very least, it could be someone who's lower level to take over Tella's spot as the anchor.
True, a fresh Tella or a radio would be a very nice anchor. Porum would also do a fine job anchor.
But then again, you know, there's still a Dwarf Castle character. There's still 2 characters at Tower of Zot, so you got 3 more in the way characters to check.
You know what we also haven't found yet?
What?
We haven't found Demist.
We have not.
We have seen the entire moon, and we know that Demist is not up in the entire moon. We have seen almost the entire overworld, and it hasn't shown up so far. Only getting a ribbon from the tower key. That's a bit disappointing. Penniwhistle not experienced disappointment as they have discovered that they are now the proud owner of the Crystal Sword Cecil.
Yeah. See, Demas could be a giant, could be one of the Dwarf Castle bosses, could be Sealed Cave, could be Cave Magnus, could be the back of Zot, could be the back of Baron, could be the Baron basement. There's like a dozen slots still that it could be in. So
yeah.
Oh, hi Odin.
True King and Baron decided that they wanted to go and try and take out some dwarf territory today. This fight would probably be rude if K&H was not rocking obscene amounts of power.
Yeah.
Oh, and a Thunderclaw.
Yeah. I was gonna say she doesn't even need to bust out the lids.
She doesn't even get a berserk off on Yang. She gets to Rose's turn in case it's like, now we're done here.
Oh, Bigan.
Bigan's a mild nuisance here. Hey, Porum. Potentially a better anchor?
Not gonna take her, though. Yeah, Bigan doesn't stand a chance against this team.
That's a very disarming team.
Yeah.
Nothing sneaky about them, though. They don't sneak out any wins. They just come in full force.
Just gonna shed that boss.
They definitely didn't win by the skin of their teeth.
Creepy arm, which snakes don't have.
I mean, they detach now, so maybe that's what's going on. The one arm that wasn't taken out immediately when the main body decided, no, I'm running away. Please don't hurt me.
Oh, thanks. That's helpful.
I'm sure K&H is very relieved to know that, yes, there wasn't a magma key on the moon. You had to go through Ogopogo.
I mean, puts her up to 9 key items, so...
We'll be guaranteed to have 10 key items when K&H gets their crystal. Penniwhistle appears to be walking out of the Feymarch. Cecil might be out of... Oh. Yeah, they may not know of the exit teleporter in the bottom floor. But, well, kind of nerdy housewife decided that.
Oh.
Kind of nerdy housewife just faking sounds like, I'm gonna go to the treasury. You know, I got a crystal sword, I got a dragoon spear.
Yeah.
Do I need anything?
Yeah, I don't disagree with this play of skipping the treasury.
Like, I believe I can list off all the nice things you could find. A Zeus gauntlet. 2 Zeus gauntlets. 3 Zeus gauntlets. And power robes.
Yeah.
There's a very small list of things you can find.
Maybe a cursed ring.
A cursed ring is probably the most yeah, that's probably the best reason to open all those chests, but
it's probably full of ninja swords and stuff.
It probably is. There are very few things that this team actually cares about, I believe.
Okay, Golbez time.
Golbez time. Well, the team is equipped with 2 ribbons.
Emphasis on time.
Getting a Star Veil up. I do appreciate the dedication to going and taking out the protection seriously, but 1, this spot has kind of weak magic power. 2, as long as your Cecil survives, he has a crystal sword and he is going to kill that Golbez in 1 swing. Because Golbez is weak to holy damage. Asuka, have you seen the leaps I make for some of my jokes? There's never a leap too far.
I'm just hoping that one of these leaps I make will be the leap home.
I know how that series ends, and, well, I don't want to go and be the bearer of bad news. Also, Golbez, aim for the person with a ribbon. A lot. And is now mad at Kane for not stabbing the team in the back. Oh, I was wrong. Golbez is not going to go and just die instantly. He's going to go and take a little bit more than that. He's going to take 1 punch from everyone, and then he's just going to say, why is Kane betraying me? You're on the wrong side.
I mean, he betrayed the betrayer.
Kane is an equal opportunity betrayer. Meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going and getting to the Dwarf Castle now and is going to go and fight that Odin. Probably going to have a pretty good time with, you know, the nice weaponry that they have picked up and the Thunderclaw that I believe... Actually, I don't... Kind of already has well bought Thunderclaws that are on Yang. So, I don't know if Penniwhistle has one. Either way, we have a Crystal Sword Cecil. I don't think there's too much to worry about.
So there's a Rydia, would be a nice anchor for kind of nerdy housewife.
If you're not that enthusiastic about Chala, Rydia is much easier to knock off, though all the equipment you have on your team, it's not going to be too hard to knock off any character at this point, I think. Oh, there's a nice character.
Here we go.
So you can't anchor with Fusoya. But it is hard to say no to Fusoya.
I mean, replace Rosa.
Getting rid of Ferdia. Not taking Fusoya at all. Just, nope, we're going for, we've got our team, we're just going to take this, Tella is the preferred old man. If you showed up on the moon where you're supposed to, Fu, you get to join this party, but no, we're taking Tella to the end.
Yeah, Fu could make a decent anchor if he does have the cursed ring, but
yes,
we have not found one yet.
That is very correct. We have not found any cursed rings. And random chance of getting any face, so you're always assured to get the Cure 4 face if you spin it around without a wall.
But I mean, you know, with a Zerk Cane, that's...
Yeah, this fight is, it's not long for this world. Might seem like it's a bit of a face-off, but it sure is just crumbling under the pressure.
Yeah, there's just assured destruction there.
The feeling is unfortunately not mutual. After all, the heroes cheat with remote-controlled powered airships. But what do we get for completing this lovely tower?
Oh!
Go mode! Kinda Nerdy Housewife now has everything she needs to complete 4 objectives and get the crystal. She just needs to go to Cave Magnus. She's at 10 key items now, so if she wants to grind before going there, that is definitely a very valid option, because after you finish Cave Magnus, you're right outside of Toria, and that pass you have, well, that pass will take you directly to Zeromus from the Toria pub. Instead, Kinda Nerdy Housewife is choosing to go up to Cave Magnus first and may grind afterwards. But we are getting close to music as well, while Penniwhistle is debating where to go next, because the pink tally, I believe, is from the top of tower, so they need to complete that, and then they need to complete the Earth Crystal to go and get the Twin Harp. Look, this is one of those ramp up jet seeds where it starts really slow and it's got a high ramp time, but once you get going, you just get going.
Pinktail was Sheila, by the way.
Oh, right. So when Penniwhistle turns that in, that'll be everything they need. So it's going to be just more or less how soon is Penniwhistle going to go to the Tower of Zot, because we have no visibility as to where any part of Forge is.
Yeah. We have not seen any part of that.
We have forged a lot of paths forward. Haven't found any swords, though. To answer question from chat, yes, we found sirens. They were for sale in Feymarch. But now I guess we're at what some people may really enjoy of this seed. Can't believe it, but Edward is going to play us a song. Yes, he's doing something useful outside of the party. I know it's using that aloud, but we'd like to go and give him something. So I'll be quiet while Edward plays us some very interesting tune. I will freely admit this is not a song I'm familiar with, but our restreamer has said Comet Observatory.
It's
So.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Ah! I am a heathen. I have not gone and played Super Mario Galaxy.
It's a fun game.
But the Magus Sisters show up, and the Magus Sisters disappear pretty quickly. So that is once kind of nerdy housewife goes and picks up this item on the altar, she will complete the first objective, complete Cave Magnus, and get her crystal.
And that's a Baron key that will not be used.
Unless both parts of the forge are on the moon, I have a suspicion you are never going to forge for an objective in this seed, because Edward's on Mount Hobbs, very free. Ogopogo is literally required because that is the only way underground. And the Pinktail is from Sheila 1, which you are very likely to do because you get a pan from Antlion Cave. And Cave Magnus is from the Earth, is from that Earth crystal, which is not the worst choice to check after you've cleared out the underground. That turns out to be very free. K&H has a party at mid-30s or high 30s, low 40s. Is getting into their airship. Probably going to go and grind a few levels. This is maybe panicking a bit, thinking that they're just so far behind and they need to go and get to Zeromus, but also might be thinking, I don't want to wipe to Zeromus for as long as I had to wipe to Ogopogo. Let's just be real strong, and when I go into that Zeromus fight, I'm very certain I'm going to win.
Yeah, I also don't think she saved going into Troya there.
Very fair. You definitely don't want to go and take a wipe at any point right now. Elemental Claws, great for exploiting weaknesses, not so great when the weaknesses are going against. But Penniwhistle now has their Pinktail. We'll be able to complete objective number 3 very soon. And it's going to come down to how long it takes for them to go to Power of Zot to find that Twin Harp. While K&H theoretically has levels to defeat Zeromus if you're feeling confident. If you're not feeling like going and risking any more wipes, you can just plow through the rest of these sirens quickly, and you're going to be in a very nice position to just stomp Zeromus. As for 68,000 experience per egg is definitely a very nice amount of experience per egg.
That double EXP for 10 key items, pretty great.
It is. It's really going in, just helping this team get even more strong.
Yeah, once you get past the Ogopogo, the seed's a breeze.
Yeah, the seed really front loads all of the pain. And kind of nerdy housewife is like, all right, that's good, let's go. Because you do have a life staff white shirt Rosa with a rune ring, a reasonably leveled Yang, a Cane with a Dragoon Spear and an Avenger, and Crystal Sword Cecil. K&H, however, going to Toria, turning in her pass, making her way to Zeromus with a very, very nice team. And I think we have just one question left to ask Dijon.
Who let the dogs out?
What is Wyvern going to do when we don't kill him? No, that's a different question. We have the final fight of the game. That is Zeromus. Zeromus doesn't get randomized because, well, he's the final boss. We can't go and just throw him in anywhere. He's a bit too mean, a bit too complicated, maybe a bit too hideous to let outside the lunar core. But instead of going and just leave him entirely alone, we do like to give him a little bit of a makeover. Make him seem sometimes a bit more appealing, sometimes a bit more horrifying. So we get your Z flags out in chat as we find out whose butt we're kicking this afternoon. Okay, just going and finding the inventory, queuing up the crystal on Tellar while going in. Yep, there are 3 Bacchus wines left, and I believe we're only going to use 2 of them. But the true colors are being revealed. Who is Zeromus today?
Is it Cyndi Lauper?
You know, I'm not familiar with Cyndi Lauper. Is that what they look like?
No.
Well, that is the Animantoise from Final Fantasy 15, if I'm not mistaken. Considering we didn't find the adamant, I think we know why now.
They exist in some form in 13 as well, so yeah, when Kind of Nerdy Housewife finishes this fight, maybe she'll earn one of the items needed to forge the final tier weapons.
I never got that far in 13.
I got the platinum on it. I spent a lot of time on it.
I'm happy you enjoyed it. I got to the point where the game opened up, and when I discovered the game opened up was a very large can of kick butt on me. I did not win many fights after I got to a certain point, and K&H did not go and nerf the first big bang, so hurts a bit. Tellar goes down. Most of the team survives. Kane's a little low and might die to HP. Oh, Gear 4 comes out, so this team's going to be fine. I find distinct irony in going through a seed where we were struggling to hit beyond triple digits with Cure 3, and now Rosa is doing almost 2,000 healing to 4 party members with a split Cure 4. The paths we have crossed and how far we have come.
Oh, how the turntables.
We're also seeing the Cure 2 going and getting our prize for triple of its previous amount.
It's amazing how leveling up and having a white shirt will...
And a life staff. White shirt and life staff. That was, I do believe, the first time Cure 2 was cast. It was without the life staff as well. And Rosa getting in on the attack action, just going in, bonking Adamantis with her life staff. Meanwhile, Penniwhistle is going in, climbing tower, which will... I believe this is going to give a sand ruby and a ribbon, which unfortunately is not progression, but it is more key items for them. Rosa going and being very secure, taking 1,300 damage from a full-powered Big Bang, while Kane takes a full 2,000. That white shirt and life staff is certainly doing some work for Rosa, keeping her nice and secure so she can go and throw out obscene amounts of healing. And there are rocks! I'm impressed that Adamantis could find any rocks, because they're getting rocked pretty hard right now. And they are just crumbling away as K&H comes in first place with an official time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 50 seconds. GG's K&H, and I believe they have just joined us in the booth. Congratulations on that seed.
Thank you! I think the only thing I have to say is heck.
You know, I'm gonna ask if you can say them.
That was definitely a seed in 2 acts. Everything before defeating Ogopogo was really hard, and everything after defeating Ogopogo was really easy.
Yeah, that's how it looked from our side.
Yeah, who knew that Ordeals was not a mountain today, but descent down the tower?
Yeah, really. Woo! No, Ogopogo was hard. I panicked when I saw Ogopogo. I'm like, okay, maybe I can go to the moon. And I was happy to find the Calcabrenas there and get a little bit of experience, 1 key item. I did a full demist hunt because I didn't want to fight Ogopogo.
We had a great time going listing up all the bosses because there's like, oh, it could be Golbez. No, we've already seen Golbez. Golbez is at the Magus' spot. Why did we go there? We not the Earth because we wanted to find Demus.
Yep.
How did you feel about the rest of the bosses you saw on the moon?
I'm glad I didn't have to go back because there was a lot of punchiness there.
How did you feel about the last moon boss that you didn't kill this seed, Wyvern?
I'm glad I didn't have to fight the dragon. That was good.
Yeah, I was rather impressed with the seed just for how well it could go and be really mean to you.
Yeah, if I couldn't find it on Earth, I was gonna start with elements over in Cave Bahamut, but luckily it did not come to that.
There was some discussion about how maybe you go and take on elements, but that was a very mean seed. It's a hard seed to get through, so GG's for getting through it in general.
Thanks. I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud I made it because yeah, that was a tough one.
We were
go ahead.
We were also speculating about maybe she goes to the giant and does D-Machine and then finds D-Mist up there and it leads to a key item.
I honestly was gonna take a crack at the moon again before I invested into D-Mist. Also, that might be the first time I've turned down a Fusoya, but I was just committed to the Berserker strats at that point.
We were impressed, but what was your main reason for turning down Fusoya? Because Tello was your anchor or some other reason?
Tello was my anchor, and I have a Crystal Sword Cecil and a Rosa. I'm good there. And I probably could have gotten rid of Yang, but I was just committed to the Berserker strats at that point.
Just figured that the team has carried you so far. It'd be disrespectful to get rid of any of them now.
Yeah, for sure.
What were your exact feelings when you got through clawed your way through Ogopogo, went down to the Feymarch, found the Party Rock, and then 2 free bosses?
I was really happy, and you know what made me even happier? Seeing the Crystal Sword.
We were commentating that the Underground didn't really have much for items for you, but it gave you a lot of nice stuff that you're okay with anyways.
Yeah, Feymarsh, more like Free Marsh.
Free weapons as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the kindest, gentlest Feymarsh I've seen in a long time.
And the Sylphs really wanted you to be the best casters possible, giving you a Stardust Rod from Bonking Yang and Shiloh 2 giving you a white shirt for your Rosa.
Yeah, that white shirt is so nice in this Romus fight, having that little bit of extra magic defense.
Yeah, that definitely showed, as I noticed one time when Kane took 2,000 damage from a Big Bang and Rosa.
Yeah, exactly. You could really see the difference there in that Seromus fight. And all the ribbons. I think I got ribbons for everybody in my party.
Yeah, there were 2 just on that one floor in the Eblin Castle.
Which was really fun when I went up to Golbez and he's like, and Shadow Dragon's like, demolish. And I'm like, nope. He's like, okay, demolish someone else. And I'm like, nope.
Why can't I go and knock anyone down on this team? I believe the answer was Ogopogo's done enough of that today.
Oh, yeah. That was the slowest. I took that fight so slow. I went all the way down to battle speed 6. I just used all the illusions, kept up the blink. That was truly just, I had to go slow and steady.
It got you through the fight. It was a grind of fight. Both you and Penniwhistle were going and fighting for a while. It was. How were you feeling after you got through Ogopogo? Did you feel you were behind? Do you fear that you were?
Oh, I felt I was way behind when I saw Ogopogo. I was actually super stressed for the second half of that seed.
You did go and get out of Ogopogo in 1:35, and you finished not even 45 minutes later at 2:16.
Yeah.
So,
No, I felt way, way, way behind, especially with it's not the Ogopogo fight itself that made me feel way behind, but my failed Demas search that made me feel way behind.
true, I can see that. You did go and spend a lot of time going and having to walk out of tower, going and checking a lot of places.
Yeah, I did the desperation Castle LeBlanc.
and you were rewarded for it with an Avenger, so...
Yeah, I used that Avenger for the entire rest of the seeds, so I think that was worth it. And plus, those levels really helped me get through Ogopogo as well.
I agree. That Avenger was a big pull, and I believe you wisely chose to say, all right, this is the best thing I could possibly get. There's nothing better. I'm leaving and going and taking a shot at Ogopogo now. And it definitely, you were able to go and get through it at that point. So that was a good call on your part.
Thanks. Woo, yeah, that is definitely the most difficult seed I've had, either in races or practice. So it feels pretty good to get through it.
We were commenting that Ogopogo is one of the most vicious hook bosses to go and deal with, so...
Yeah, I truly was looking for any out. I even checked the package for Mist, too.
Yes. We were curious, like, are you going to go and take Palom? You can go and do some good things with Palom. You can just level him up a bit, go and take on those hair dryers, get him to... And KNH is reset now that she's determined that no, Demas isn't here.
Yeah, no, I went with the melee party for sure. That was my backup anchor too. Just in case Tella got too high level, I knew I had that Palom sitting there.
Always good to have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bijan, do you have any questions for Kind of Nerdy Housewife?
No. I think it's been pretty well covered that this seed was rude.
Rude, the rudest.
It really didn't want you to win in the first half. It seemed like you kind of gave up after the second. I was like, all right, fine, you got through this. Just finish. Go. But it really didn't want you to get to that second half of the seed. So congratulations for getting there. Congratulations on getting your first win. You are now 1-1. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I imagine you've got some fun opponents to look forward to next week.
Yeah, I sure do. With every win, your competition goes up a level, so it's going to be even harder next week.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, just thank y'all for restreaming me, and thanks to everyone working in the background. It's been a super fun tournament, both to play and to watch, so I appreciate everyone who's putting in their time to make it happen. But that seed was pretty tiring, so I'm going to go take a little break, and I will see y'all next time.
That sounds great. Have a great afternoon, evening.
Yep,
ya.
you too. Bye.
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 That was our winner, Kind of Nerdy Housewife, going and finishing this grueling seed in 2 hours, 60 minutes, and 50 seconds. The first half determined to go and beat down our runners, and it was a matter of who could wear out the seed first.
And we join Penniwhistle going through the Tower of Zot. He went for the treasury, and I gave it a 2 out of 10.
I mean, there's a crystal ring in there, I believe. That's nice.
And
Yeah, The treasury is unfortunately ultimately held back by the fact that you have a Crystal Sword and an Avenger and a Cecil. What could you really get from it? What could really impress you at this point? The seed has been so... Up until you got underground, where it decided to just give you everything, it was determined to make sure you paid for every inch of progress with the young Cecil Starch and an Edward on Hobbs. Required Edward, certainly. But unless you found a dancing dagger, he was going to be struggling to do a bunch of damage. And then you can push your way a bit, and you get a Darkness Crystal from Fabul Defense, which lets you go to the moon to see the character there and discover that it's Della. Nice, but kind of needs to go and do Ordeals before he can go and carry a lot. And Ordeals rewards you with a Kenazo in the front attack spot and the Yalkal in the back attack spot, so you never feel great doing it. You do get the path, but...
Yeah.
It's not exactly the most fun fight, especially when Mom Bomb is in the Crystal Chamber, going and waiting for you to go and try and do 1,000 damage and be out of there. And just you gotta do another 10,000 damage to go and get through me quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna go and be sitting here watching my bombs explode. And we have Kane and the Baron Inn guarded by Plague and Kenazo. Or not Kenazo, Mylon. Mylon and friends. Not the worst thing, but pretty rude when you don't have any form of appreciable damage with your team. Especially that Plague who goes rather quickly. And you top all of that off, discover Roses on the hook route, fighting Ogopogo. A required objective that is ultimately painful. Going to the moon definitely went and gave K&H a bit of an edge, just because she could go and she took that Badal's fight on the Murasame altar and got some extra experience. And that was ultimately enough to go and help push her along, just enough to get Roses some great spells to help her fight. But going and taking a dip out to Castle Eblin to get an Avenger from one of those chests really pushed her over the edge.
Well, Penniwhistle doesn't bother with, wall strats, just zerks against Golbez, and like 2 big shots from Cecil and Yang takes him out.
Crystal Sword doing damage for more than it reasonably should.
I mean, there's a reason why it's like hidden at the very end of the game. Normally.
And why Cecil is usually the agility anchor, because Cecil moving quickly is that's a little unfair. But unfair in our favor, I'm not so opposed to. But now Penniwhistle is going to pick him the Fusoya, and we'll see if they are going to take Fusoya or Rydia. Saying no to the Rydia, but saying yes to the Fusoya. So, they now probably have a new caster on the team, which is pretty nice. It might go and get through this Shura fight pretty quickly. But then they're going to go and get the Twin Harpin and be able to get their crystal.
Yeah, might make things a bit interesting in the way of an agility anchor, but
very true. I mean, it is as standard. We could go around to all the shops and see if we can find one. It's not the most unlikely thing to be able to go and get. Fusoya is going and getting that wall and Ashura to go and prevent any Cure Force from going and stopping this paint train. throwing out a Berserk, and Ashura crumbles again before the might of this team. To answer a question from chat, yes, Penniwhistle has done Hobbs. That is where Edward was, but they have not gone and checked Sandruby. I don't believe any runner has checked Sandruby, so
No.
that is a character to go and be found. If it's anyone but Edge, you can go and have a reasonable anchor. There's a Twin Harp, and that's going to go, and Penniwhistle was very likely to be very pleased to see that. Just, you've gone through a lot in this seed. This might be a bit more to do, but that's it's nice to see have an ending in sight. And after they finish Cave Magnus, they will go and get their 10th key item, I believe, from... Yes, they'll go and get both the Baron Key and the Crystal, so they'll be at 11 key items after this. More than enough to go and get the double experience bonus for their grind. And the Black Chocobo is hiding today, being very hard to find.
It's like, did they glitch out?
Can they not spawn? Did I... No, they're there.
Yeah.
They're all the way in the back. Another walk through Cave Magnus, and I don't even remember what poor boss was here to be fought. It was the Magus, excuse me. The Magus sisters are not going to have a good time. Dark Elf going in, throwing out their volley of spells while the fighters in the team are magnetized and stuck to the ground. The mages are, well, they can just sit there and watch the spells hit or miss. Rose is just happy to not even cast anything, but Penniwhistle going in and managed to sneak in a spell between the weeks going off and the scripted failure.
I was wondering why everyone in the chat was saying, like, bless you and gesundheit, and then I realized my mic picked up my spouse sneezing in the background.
It's a high quality mic.
I mean, it's a SteelSeries headset.
Magus Sisters coming out to play, getting a Delta attack off, which I don't think they were able to go and successfully pull off in Penniwhistle Housewife's fight, but they're not going to go and be meeting much success in general, as a few hundred points of damage to one character is not really that impressive when you can go and do thousands of damage with your Crystal Sword Cecil. There goes the Mega Sisters. They are down. Penniwhistle at 2 hours, 38 minutes, finishing off their fourth objective and getting their crystal. Now, all that is left is for them to take their pass and go to Zeromus.
Possible grind beforehand if he wants to.
Very true. Grind is a smart thing to do. Yeah, definitely just pick up some sirens, go and get a few levels on your team. Just get Rosa to safe HP and let your berserkers berserk. But Penniwhistle is going and getting the airship, probably going to go and pick up some more sirens, or use sirens that I may have already picked up that I missed, and do some grinding on eggs as they are now at 10 key item.
I think they still have some sirens. I'm not 100% sure on that, though, so...
They are flying around thinking about where to go at this point. Looks like they're going back to the Fame Arch. They might feel they need to pick up more.
Yeah.
Maybe just going to come back and reminisce. This is where the seed decided to stop being mean to me. Because the seed was definitely not kind. The seed was much less complete an hour ago, and there was a lot more to go and get through that.
That's for sure.
Buying 2 stacks of sirens, that is about not quite 1.4, a bit like 1.3 million experience if you burn all of them on eggs. That will make you very strong. Now we're scrambling eggs. What are your favorite eggs? Ooh, might want to go and heal up before you go in. Oh, well, as long as you one-shot the eggs, it shouldn't be too bad. Oh yeah, coffins are going to go and do the job just fine. Eggs being a very popular grind, not just because they give good experience for relatively low health at just 2,000 HP for 34,000 experience. They also are not immune to instant death effects, so those coffins are a great way to go and do a quick grind if you're not feeling confident early on, or just don't want to go and risk the egg hatching at all.
It's definitely the one of the easiest grinds out there.
There's a lot of people's preferred grinds, and if the number of sirens you need isn't a real obstacle, it's definitely hard to say it's not the best, because other grind fights like Triple Warlocks on the Moon is a bit of a unique setup where you don't have to go and use hourglasses on them, but you want to mute them so they don't go and cast spells, and then you want to go and be using Mage Killer gear. And you can do some shenanigans with ATB where you queue up an attack after, so that the enemies will try and cast spells after you go and cast your melee attacker, so you can go and queue up multiple life glitches on one enemy. But it is slower to do that. And Gold Dragons on the Moon, very, very good experience. Give me 30,000 experience each, but it's a 2 enemy fight, so you can life glitch one of them to get up to 90,000 experience for one fight, which then gets doubled up to 180,000 experience if you got double experience activated. But you can't use coffins on them.
At this point, I would say Penny probably has enough levels to take on Zeromus, but given the way that this seed has treated everyone, I can't fault him for being secure and
Yes.
doing some extra levels.
Yes, it's hard to go and fault someone for going, and you've already seen the dot done come in for your opponent. There's no need for you to go and take any risk. You just, okay, let's just beat stuff up. And Penniwhistle is choosing to go into Baron right now. They're choosing to stay at the end. They may not be aware that when you start the Zeromus fight, you're automatically set up to full HP and MP.
Yeah, it happens. Just one of those things of learning which fights give you a free heal beforehand.
Yep, learning where all the free heals is something that is not necessarily the most obvious, and they're saving and there. Oh, I think they might be mistaken as to where they need to go to use their pass, as they
Oh, yeah.
they have been a little unfamiliar with some of the maps, when they may be thinking, I go to Baron to use the pass, right? Unfortunately, it's Toria, where in the vanilla game you go and get the pass to the Secret Underground Club, which brings out lets you go and get involved in a dance routine. Here they are coming for now they're heading to Toria, and
Oh, closer.
yep, they are there they go. They found the cafe. They're going to go and use their pass and walking the hidden path to Zeromus. Wonder if it seems like the image has frozen. There we go. They're on their way to Zeromus now, going to be facing the final challenge of the seed, where Ogopogo really took the. Ogopogo's mean. I know I've said this a lot, but that's not a fun fight to deal with ever.
Ogo Bogo.
But yes, let's cheer on Penniwhistle as they go and confront Zeromus. As I have not seen Penniwhistle around the free enterprise community, they are a new face to me, and this seed feels like hazing. It was not kind. This is a seed where experienced runners would go and not be pleased with what they had to go through that hook route. I'm certainly glad I didn't have to go and do it. Here we see Adamantimus coming out again.
Just gotta aim for the legs first.
It doesn't seem to have legs, it seems to have a fin.
Oh, well.
Maybe it's just fin up with a seed? It's had its fill. Ogopo got to do all the fun stuff, and now it's here to take all the anger. Staring at that 3000 HP Cecil. Excuse me, 3000 HP Cecil with a crystal sword. Poor Fusoya took the counter nuke, but did go and get the nerf off, which meant the Big Bang was reduced. One of the things about the Zeromus fight is Zeromus goes and does a lot of shenanigans with their magic power. They'll go and adjust it up or down depending on which spell they're casting. So when you see them shake, they're going and part of their little tells to be somewhat merciful. So it's not just, why are these Big Bangs coming out constantly? Instead, we'll shake, set magic power secretly, and then cast Big Bang. But if you go and cast a spell on Zeromus to make it cast Nuke, well, whenever it casts Nuke, it has to also set its magic power. So the magic power it sets for Nuke is not markedly lower than what it sets for Big Bang, because if it didn't, Nuke would always wipe off one of your characters and not give you a chance to survive it. While the Nuke Big Bang can go and be set at a higher magic power. So you ideally want to go and get the counter nuke to go off before the Big Bang, so that the Big Bang is cast at a lower magic power than this the lower magic power that Nuke uses, which unfortunately did not happen for Penniwhistle.
So is that what they call the Big Bang Theory?
I think we're going to discover that theory and practice are two different things. Crystal Sword Cecil doing good damage. Penniwhistle going and resurrecting Cecil as Adamantimus shakes again. Rosa keeping this team sturdy with Cure 4s, and Fusoya getting hit with a 2200 Big Bang. That hurts.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to see. That was a pretty high roll.
Yeah, that's damage rolls are, they can go up to 50% beyond their base value. So for example, Nuke has a base damage of 400 that can go up to 50% higher of 600. The magic power you set it at determines how many times you go and roll that 400 to 600 number, and then you add them all together, subtracting out magic defense from each one, which I don't know if you've seen the magic defense stats in this game, but they're usually maybe 10. So magic is going to go and do a lot of damage pretty much all the time, unless you can go and get a magic evade roll in your favor, which means that instead of going and saying, all right, I've rolled 400, 500, 600, so I'm going to do 1500 damage for Nuke, you manage to roll and evade one of those rolls, so you just take one off. that's kind of what helps keep mages alive, particularly Rydia, as Rydia gains a lot of both casting stats, which means that she gets a lot of magic evade chances. But I don't think that Fusoya actually has any equipment, so Fusoya is not getting any bonus multipliers for anything.
Oh, dang. Saroma's being rude and just immediately doing a big bang after shaking, so Rosa did not get that cure off in time.
Zeromus is pretty fast, and Fusoya is the anchor at the moment, which is probably working against Penniwhistle because math, because this is what we do.
Fusoya has a standard agility of 20.
Yes, and Fusoya, unlike other characters in the game, doesn't change their stats when leveling up until they hit level 70, which we are not at level 70. We're in the 50s. Yeah, I think we're around level 50-ish. It takes millions of experience to get up to that point. So Fusoya is at 20 agility. For Zeromus, the first time he changes how fast he acts is when you have an anchor at 28 agility. And at that point, Zeromus goes and shifts from taking an action every ATB tick to every other ATB tick.
Oh.
This is not looking good for Penniwhistle.
Yeah, it's that high speed taking out his cane before he could heal really kind of.
Also, Battle Speed 1 is Battle Speed 1 is fast. It's if you linger at all, or if you don't, not even if you linger at all, a cast cannot go and input actions fast enough to not lose any ATB ticks. So as a human, you have very limited options to go and enter in your actions fast enough. So lower battle speeds are very advisable if you don't have all of your Zerkers just constantly going.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there goes on the battle speed.
Yeah. See, I always
help out.
I always lower mine to at least 3 when I'm going into Zeromus, because it's just I learned the hard way that trying to do it at 1 all the time not gonna happen unless you Zerk your entire party, and even then.
Yes. That is a big improvement. I will go and set my battle speed to 3 if I am going and taking on Zeromus with a caster team, because I'm going to do a lot of menuing and I need the time to go and input my commands. With a Berserker team, I've gotten to the point where I've planned out my turns before I've actually gotten to them. I have planned out my turns for the Zeromus fight when I'm flying to it, and I will order my party to specifically set up my turns so I will have a Berserk going before the crystal and the change resolves, pretty much. And that means I can go and have animations giving me extra time for my menus, and that makes it easier for me. So I can do Battle Speed 1 with that going in my favor. But the Battle Speed 4 is a very, very heads up and smart play from Penniwhistle. That is going to go and make it much easier for him to go and get his actions in.
Yeah, if he just repeats the stuff that he did last time at this lower battle speed, he should do just fine.
I agree. This is definitely a team that can go and beat up this ugly space flea.
Ugly Space Flea is the name of my Kiss cover band.
I thought that was the name of Kiss in general. I'm not a rock and roll fan, or whatever Kiss is.
I mean, they do want to rock and roll all night. And party every day.
I'm going to go and just admit I haven't listened to the radio in years, so I don't actually know that song. I don't even know what song you're referring to.
They came out in the 70s.
I haven't. I don't appreciate exactly how little music I listen to that is not from video games.
It was in Guitar Hero.
I think you don't appreciate how much I've avoided mainstream music. I am dedicated to that cause, if only because I'm too lazy to actually get a proper radio or listen to any station. Oh, I played that game, Commander Lee. Heartbeat Super is a fun game.
I don't have VR, so I haven't played it.
PlayStation VR is markedly more affordable than the other options from what I've seen. I think I would manage to pick it up on sale one year for...
PlayStation also doesn't have Beat Saber.
No, it does. PlayStation
It does?
VR has... Yes.
Oh, well then they added it at some point.
Yes, you can't import your own songs like you can with PC. But here, this fight is going off reasonably well. Kane's taking a direct nuke and it might be going down. Kane is not going down. Survives it with 250 HP left as Rosa gets a Cure 4 off, bringing everyone back up.
Yeah.
So, things are looking good on that front. So we are seeing that Cure 4, that Life Staff kind of nerdy Housewife's Rosa had, definitely giving a bit of an advantage, though also taking Kella to leave down so that Cure 4 isn't split across as many people. With kind of nerdy Housewife's Cure 4 is going for almost 2,000, while Penniwhistles are only going for about 1,200. Ooh, that was... Penniwhistle got a little lucky there because the direct cast White is going to go and not pull a nuke counter. Adamentus counters Holy and Medio with a different spell. It counters with Weak. And Weak is just going to instantly kill a character because it sets you to single digit HP, and you all pretty much have permanent sap on. And that sap means that every tick of the ATB, you lose 2 HP. But because we didn't draw a counter, that means that we have changed phases, and the phase change means that we are now in phase 2. We have gone through about 45,000 Zeromus' HP at that point, and Zeromus has refilled their HP, back to full fighting strength, has changed their script so they'll randomly throw out nukes after Big Bangs. Well, not randomly, it's actually scripted. But you'll also go and just have to go through another 65,000 HP, and Zeromus will be down. So here we're probably going to go and see that counter week I was mentioning.
Yeah. Yep, there goes.
By Young. Not even a chance to get a turn on a character before Young died. As the shake, HP looks pretty good. Kane might be in the air before the Big Bang comes out. Soya throwing out a nuke might go and land before the Big Bang comes out, or, oh yeah, we're gonna go and get that. We might have switched to media phase, so we might not even go and see another Big Bang. We do not get a counter nuke.
The counter nuke.
We are in media phase now.
Yeah, using sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, using the direct attacks is, a bold strategy, but also avoiding the time you would need to set up the walls needed to. Oh, and that jump from Kane coming at just the right time.
And we have Penniwhistle going and finishing with an official time of 3 hours, 1 minute, 53 seconds. GG's Penniwhistle, and I believe we're joined by him now. GG's.
So that was a rough one.
Yeah, it turns out Ogopogo is a bit of a rude boss.
He is, it turns out. Oh gosh, so this was my first race. I'm just proud of myself for finishing it whatsoever. But
that is a bit of hazing for a first race, because that's not a seed that I'd want to do.
At least I started as I meant to go on by wiping to the very first boss I tried as well. So
I don't think you were alone in that.
D-Luna's at Antlion, so
The starting with Yang and Cecil was a bit harsh, because you do not have many options for damage, and there are very few lines to go and get them.
yeah. So to pick them up, I was like, okay, most bosses at Antlion I think I can take. Grab some equipment, head there. D-Luna's virused me out immediately, so it's like, well, I guess we'll try the bar and get another character, and then we can go back. And then Plague kind of counted me out because I didn't have the DPS. So. But yeah, no, at least after that, managed to get the character from Hobbs, and then kind of picked up from there. So
yeah, that Edward was definitely able to do some work. Yeah, I believe at that point you had a dancing dagger for him.
Yes, I did. And he solved all my problems for a little while.
Yeah, he definitely carried a lot of that early game, because you were struggling for damage and he solved it. And then I believe the next character you were able to get was the Tella on the moon from the Darkness Crystal. What were your thoughts when you found Tella on the moon?
So, the MP pool of 90 is not the best thing in the world, but my thoughts were, okay, he can fill in for practically any role in the meantime until I find other characters. And, we can play the game now. That was my thoughts, basically.
That certainly makes a lot of sense. And then after clearing the overworld, you encounter that Rosa who is on the hook path and the Ogopogo. When you saw the lunar sparkle, who were you hoping for most?
Oh, I'll be honest. I think Wyvern setting the game to slowest and getting Wyvern, I could probably get up enough Star Veils to then heal up and get through it. But Ogopogo was, I don't know if he's the worst one I could have encountered, but it was bad enough, and without going to the moon and hoping that I can cheese something, I don't think there was anything else I could do but just persevere through it, so...
I'm going to tell you, your opponent went to the moon and found a set of dolls that they could go and beat thanks to hourglasses sold in the moon shop.
Yeah.
So they took 16,000 experience in a package and were able to go and clear a bit more of the moon, and I think they found a couple items on the moon as well.
Yeah, I look forward to watching the replay so I can see how Kind of Nerdy Housewife did it.
A big thing in addition to that 16,000 experience was she went to Evelyn Castle, cleared the trap chest there, and pulled an Avenger out, which gave her Cane a big shot in the arm for damage.
Avenger would have been great. There was one occasion, I think it was on Ogopogo, where I forgot I had a crystal armor on Cecil when I tried to berserk him. Avenger would have solved that as well, so...
Yeah, again, Ogopogo is an extraordinarily rude boss in the hook route. He is very painful to deal with. A lot of it comes down to your ability to heal, where you just don't have great AoE healing, and you're going to take a lot of AoE damage.
Indeed. But no, I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts were about my solution in the end. I just turned on encounters and gained a few levels.
That's an entirely valid way, and it showed that it gave you the push you needed. You were able to go and get set up, you're able to go and push out damage, and you're able to go and keep moving forward. That's definitely something that a lot of runners have done when in that situation. It is Ogopogo, I think, is the hardest boss to deal with that, just because of that HP percent damage. But you got through it, and that is the important thing. Just turning on encounters and taking more levels was as you demonstrated, was a very valid way of getting through there.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But let's not dwell on the harsh parts of the seed. Let's dwell on what it did after you got through Ogopogo. and when you discovered the underground had everything you could possibly want.
The underground was absolutely lovely. I think the only thing I could have asked for more from it was to have some key items from both of the free bosses in the Fey March.
You didn't get key items, but you did at least get some very nice weaponry with that Dragoon Spear and the Crystal Sword.
Indeed.
And after you have those items, anything go and drive your thoughts as to where do you go next?
So it was just to the best of my knowledge trying to be efficient as possible. So like I managed to do the pan route and going back to Fabul in one go, clear the tower in one go. I found coffins and sirens, so tried to get the levels in, just once. I ended up doing a second grind at the end, I think, as well. But that was my thoughts going through, just try and be as efficient as possible and try and get everything I could do in the underground done. Went back to the overworld, did everything I could in one go. That's what I was aiming for. So,
well, it unfortunately didn't work out for you in the race for a victory. It was still a good route to go and have, and a good way to approach that as you're going in. You did make efficient work once you got through the incredibly rude first half of the seed.
Indeed. And yeah, like if the twin harp was on the moon rather than, I can't remember where I got it now. Was it Zot I got the twin harp from?
It was from Zot.
If it had been on the moon instead, that it would have been even messier. But yes, it was. Like the party I got in the end, I was very happy with. I think an edge would have been the only way I would have been, changed it, to be honest.
There was a lot of hunting for an edge, and no, there was never one seen.
Yes, I think I had 2 Murasames before I even went into the underground, so...
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there was ninja stuff everywhere.
Yeah. But no, thank you for having me, and overall I'm happy with how I did.
I'm glad. Congratulations on your first race. We're looking forward to seeing more of you, and I hope you continue having fun.
Thank you very much.
And I hope you don't continue to get seeds as mean as this.
I look forward to having better ones.
I think that's a low bar to go and reach at this point. Have a great afternoon.
All right, thank you very much.
But with that, we have finished our race. Kind of nerdy housewife at Penniwhistle in a three-way race against the seed itself, both of which come out victorious. Kind of nerdy housewife going and taking the first place time, so congratulations to her for that. But this is a seed that I'm glad I had to play this. How about you, Dijon?
Yeah. It was a seed, all right.
It was a seed to remember. But with that, we're going to go and send you along to Apex Corbett as they are doing some free enterprise practice, and we want to go and let you see some more free enterprise. Feel free to come back around, as there will be more matches tonight.
And don't spoil the race.
Yes, do not spoil the results of this race. Feel free to let them know it was a fun one, though. Well, fun for us, at least.